What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming y'all to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Mike was funny, but I caught it in time. Hope everyone is enjoying their Thursday. Friday's here tomorrow, which means maybe some new figures will come out in stock on the shelves. My stores are looking a little bit bare, but either way, just one more day, then we get to go all in into the weekend. So what's up, everybody? Hanging out here in the chat. What's up with y'all? I got a lot to talk about. One of my main things is from one of the figures I just so happened to buy. And I was like, I can't believe this just happened. And, you know, it kind of it's that feeling where you get something, you have that immediate buyer's remorse. Like, man, you guys could have done this figure so much better. Or you have it on its own and you start putting up to other figures in your collection. It's like, nope, this isn't getting it done. So I have a whole bunch of figures on my list. And I'm sure you guys have some as well, since that was my homework for you all. Let's see who's here in the chat. Kidget, what's going on? Kidget 1998 says, I would like to see do-overs and re-release for Captain America's villains. Some are expensive. Also, do you remember that Hot Toys is going to do figures based off the movie Prometheus, but never got made? I feel like we could do like a 2-hour show on all the figures that Hot Toys has revealed over the years and then never showed up and never delivered on. So yeah, it's just another one added to the mix. I don't know if you guys follow Hot Toys on Facebook, but whenever they reveal a new figure, somebody make sure to post that gif of Billy Batson transforming into Shazam, as if to say, what's up with the Shazam figure you guys teased years and years ago? Not talking Shazam Fury of the Gods, but Shazam, just the original 2019 film. So it's wild. 80s kid from the 90s. Yo, Jeff. What's up, man? Hasbro is killing it with the G.I. Joe line. They really are. But I did find a figure I could add into this tonight's topic. Shipwreck is my favorite classified figure. I really want the Bazooka figure next, as well as Scrap Iron. I did see your video. I forgot to comment on it, but it's really cool. Nice to see you enjoyed Shipwreck. And if anyone needs a do-over, it's Phantom Menace, Darth Maul. TCB Toys. Yo, I'm here. What's up? Did I see the promo pics of Sinestro? That's on the agenda for today. I'm definitely going to talk about that figure. And the legs are reused for Kyle Rayner, which means he will not be short. Mikey Rowe, what's up, Jeffrey? I could do with the Emma Frost do-over in her Generation X attire. That's when I was in love with the White Queen. That's a good choice. And we've got 2 members, I guess 3 if you want to fudge Jubilee in there. So I assume that's on the radar. Maybe they'll do her and Banshee as a box set with like 3 or 4 other members of the team. We'll see. But you know, Hasbro's Marvel Legends team in terms of completing teams. So we'll see. Blake, what's up, man? Yo, Jeffrey, great topic. OG Cyclops, blue scuba suit version with yellow gloves and Buccaneer boots that came in the 2-pack. Yeah, that's definitely one I could see them re-releasing at some point using this Vulcan body. My only caveat to this is it has to have the shading, because that to me made that figure one of my all-time favorite Marvel Legends figures. So if we get a Vulcan one with the head sculpt as good as that original Cyclops figure, because I'm not really loving the one on the Astonishing, but it's whatever. If we get that better head sculpt, the cell shading, wow, that's a tongue twister. I'd be all for it. So hopefully we will see that, because the Bucky cap mold is really dated at this point. And 80s kid agrees, yes, to the uncanny Cyclops figure. Do-over Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. What's up with that figure? James Green, what's up, man? What's up, Thursday Night Crew? What's up, Jeffrey? Oh, Blake says, Hobgoblin that fits on his glider. Misty Knight. How about a do-over the Book of Boba Fett show? Jamie Parks, what's up? Took the words right out of my mouth, Blake. Misty Knight is one of the #1 ones, and I was so happy to get the Hobgoblin until I noticed what feat they gave him. Such a missed opportunity. Yeah, he's a tricky one, and he's a character, a figure that I always have to prop on the corner of my Spider-Man display so he won't topple over on his glider, which, I mean, you got to have him on the glider. And since I don't have a stand in my shelf for him, he just has to lean, and hopefully he doesn't topple over. So he's doing a fat Joe. He's leaning back. Retro Flint, yes, true. Afton Child, what's going on? Blake, Jamelin, tell me about it. QC is doing double blind releases. Yes, sir. Matthew Matson's in the building. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Microphone check. 1, 2, checker. Yes. Hope my mic sounds nice right now. Daniel Ruiz. Yo, what's up, Jeff? What's up, Daniel? Nolan. Hi, Jeff in chat. What's up, man? Omega 579's in the building. Hey, 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 what's happening? You know, it's just chilling on a typical Thursday night, hoping everybody's doing well. Chilling out here with us on another edition of Jeffrey Lyles' Figure Files. JT the Grind, what's up, man? Comfortable. I am comfortable. It's a pretty nice chair, leaning back, relaxing. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you as well. Jericho Savage, Jeffrey, what's up, boss? What's up, man? We're all bosses here in the building. Kelly Cox, hey, Jeff, what's going on, Kelly? Hey, everyone. Oops. Afterchild says, I went to Target, which reminded me I wanted to get something to show you. I went to Target. I found a NECA Aliens Ripley in her astronaut suit. I'm going to pick it up soon. What? I thought you wanted to get her. Why'd you hold out? Because some of those figures, if you don't get them when you see them, you'll be short. John Kane, yo, what's going on? What's up, John? 80s kid from the 90s says, I'm really cutting back on Black Series figures. The only figures I want are from the Clone Wars. There's so many great figures coming. Lefty Two Lions, BK, what's going on? Ayo, good evening, everyone. TCB Toy says, I'm going to be getting the Blackest Night wave to build out my Black Lanterns. That's a good way to go with that. Got to build up your Black Lanterns. Daniel says, I really want a re-release of Ahsoka from season 7 and Captain Rex. Captain Rex never came out. I don't care what you say. That was a Jedi mind trick pulled off by Hasbro. Never saw that figure and desperately need him. I mean, I don't know how my Clone Wars collection will actually be complete without a Captain Rex. MCU Yondu from Volume 2 might be the only one who wants this, but a re-release or redo of Arrowverse Green Arrow, just a me thing. Maybe McFarlane would do that. I feel like that should be something he should be knocking out, like a whole wave or 3 of Arrowverse figures. There's certainly enough for him. Excuse me. 80s kid from the 90s says Boba Fett needs the accurate design of the brown boots. The version that's out right now is from Mando season 2. That is amazing. I love that everybody can tell these differences. I just need to figure it mostly look good, but that's good stuff. I wonder if there's a brown boot figure you can swap to make that work all the same. TCB Toys, am I going to see the Blue Beetle movie? Yes, I am eventually. Just don't know when. Maybe everyone will be so busy and distracted seeing Barbie that I could actually make it into a theater without 400 people in there with me. Northern Nomad, what up? What's up, man? TCB Toys, how you feel about the collector's edition so far? Me personally, I think these are clearance items. Lack of accessories in this wave. Shaking my head. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the price tag on them for sure. McFarlane had a drop for that Robin figure, and it was like, oh, you know, the really young Dick Grayson version, and the figure I think was $19.99, but the shipping was $8, and I said, forget it. I don't want it in the raffle. $8 shipping. I don't know. It's just something about it where it's like, that took the figure up to $27. It's like, this figure is not $27. And I feel like these collector's edition figures have really minimal accessories to justify a higher price point. That's not what Todd's been about since he started this line. So I don't really know what's going on, but hopefully these will also hit clearance or at least be back down to $20 because that's what I want to pay for McFarlane figures. James Carpenter. Hey there, Jeffrey. What's going on, James? Happy Thursday to you. I was with you. We were right here. I forgot. Is it spelled Jeffrey or Jeffrey? Let's see. Jeffrey. Y'all can see that on there, right? Jay Malin. I have my hobgoblin pose exactly how you described. He's balanced in the upper corner of a building diorama. It's the only way you can make it work because there were so many nights where I would hear a and I go, what's that? You know, I don't know about you guys, but do you get accustomed to, oh, there's a bump in the night? I'm never thinking of someone breaking in. I'm thinking, what figure fell? Which one was kind of leaning a little bit too suspiciously forward? And is that the figure that I thought it was that fell to the floor? And sometimes it's not at all that figure. And then it's like this Sherlock Holmes investigation. I feel like I'm on CSI. What figure fell? And how did he cause 20 other figures to fall too? So yeah, but Hobgoblin was definitely one of those figures. Until I figured out that trick on how to display him, he was always knocking over everyone because I had that Spider-Man villains display a little bit higher than I needed to, just because between him, Dr. Octopus with his tentacles of I'm taking this entire shelf down of death. Yeah, it was a struggle. I don't have the money right now. Well, hopefully put it in a place, a location that's not necessarily buried under some racks or shelves, but that only you know where it is, and you can come back to it and get it later. Being a fine figure. Hello, Jeffrey. What's up? Evening, everyone. Hope you're having an awesome day. Higher figures, awesome. That's the way to go. Jericho Savage picked up the new Black Series Game Grace Cal Kestis. Good fig. You know, I want to be excited about these Jedi Fallen Order / Survivor figures, but they don't make any other character except for Cal and random dudes that he fights along his journey. There's so many characters from Fallen Order they need to make figures of, and I'm kind of frustrated with them on that sense. I know it's wild, it's wacky that the Hasbro Star Wars team is not on top of what fans and collectors want with their figures, but you know, it's a rare instance, I'm sure. Oh, did I see the reveal Black Lightning figure? What are your thoughts? Yeah. Todd had a pretty busy week now that I think about it. He was revealing figures left and right. And I forgot that there were so many reveals that he did this week. I'm trying to pull up my picture because I did have an image of that figure and want to talk about it. And then, of course, as I'm playing out everything, laying out all my stuff, we got to put him in here. So let's see. Here's Black Lightning. I'll pull him up so you all can see in just a second. But then there was another one that was revealed too. And I also want to take a look at that figure. This one I do not think is nearly as impressive or as cool as the Black Lightning figure, but I figure we should talk about them both. All right, let's get to the one I'm not as excited about first, because why not? All right, pull them up. So there's the DC versus Vampires version of Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. I don't really like this figure because this is not what Hal Jordan looked like through most of the series. He was basically Hal Jordan with some smiley vampire teeth. The one thing with this, though, is, you know, there's a million members of the Green Lantern Corps. So you could hypothetically, theoretically work around that with any character and just say he's the Green Lantern from Vampire Universe. And that would work just fine with him. And he would flow perfectly with no issues, no problems. Let's see. There we go. Let's get in that good full screen version so we can all see. But yeah, I think this flame effect is kind of cool. And the head sculpt is great with all that, the teeth and decay on the paint job. I mean, that looks really good. And I'm thinking, this isn't really Hal Jordan for me because, I mean, there's zero that you would identify as Hal Jordan. But I think as a vampire Green Lantern who's resisting his urge to eat blood, I think that's kind of a cool addition to the ranks. However, I still need a classic Hal Jordan, John Stewart, original Guy Gardner with the bowl cut to really flesh out my Green Lantern Corps. I mean, we've got a good Kyle Rayner, but yeah, it's about time to get some more. And this would be a good start to get a classic Hal Jordan, like we had that classic Nightfall, Batman, and Flashpoint Flash. So yeah, those would be really cool. I'd love to see those. And then the other reveal that we got was Black Lightning. And this figure really looks good. And they said this was from Final Crisis, and I had to verify because I was like, when he bald in Final Crisis, but he wasn't. I really like this head sculpt. It's smiley, but not too overly smiley because that's not Jefferson Pierce. He's focused. Love the work on the goggles or the mask piece. The hair texture looks really good. And the colors pop with that shade of blue that they use, the light blue. And the costume is really good. They sculpted the lightning. That's definitely one thing I can never hate with McFarlane because they really take the time to do all these little precise details. I mean, there are a couple figures that don't have it, but most of the time, they include these little details that typically look like they're just painted details on costumes. So I really like that. Give him a little lightning bolt effect too, as if he's about to channel and spark somebody. So that's cool. And I really like those two figures. One for a totally different reason than the intended one, but I'm a huge fan of what they did with Black Lightning. Excuse me. Oh, what are your thoughts on the fact that it's a Walmart exclusive? Yeah, I'm not really feeling that, but seeing the Captain Atom on shelves kind of repeatedly gives me some hope that Black Lightning will stick around. And, you know, there's certain Walmarts that I know if I'm looking for a black figure, I'm not going to find. If I go to other Walmarts, there'll be nothing but black figures. So I think I can find this one pretty easily, and I'll probably get that Vampire Green Lantern if he hits a little bit of clearance, like maybe $15 or $12. Like some figures are showing up for that line, but yeah, I will probably end up getting both of those. So Todd's getting me hard for money I wasn't expecting to spend for McFarlane's DC Multiverse figures. Roberts, Infinite Realms. What's up, man? Hey, Jeff. Better late than never. Hey, yes. Got my Ali WWE figure today. Happy. Awesome. I still haven't even unboxed mine. I've been going through all these Marvel Legend figures that I've been going through. But that Drax and Moondragon set, I finally opened those figures. And wow, I was so impressed with that set. And not just because, oh, they did a good job, but because of the value. I feel like so often I'm complaining that, hey, this Marvel Legend figure was not a great value, but this set was exceptional on that front. I mean, Drax is huge, massive, and this set is only, and I say only, not even really, not so much sarcastically, but just like, this was a really good deal. So here's my shot of Moondragon and Drax the Destroyer, and Drax is huge. He is not chump size. I feel like for $49.99 with some of these figures we've been paying and buying, he would absolutely be a $49.99 figure. And based on his size and his bulk, he's almost worth it. So I'm kind of really surprised that they got this figure to us and delivered so well. Here he is with the Hulks. I mean, you can see how big he is. I wouldn't mind a smaller version of him where he's more fighting Captain Marvel size or more Marvel size, but it's a really, really strong figure. And I was really happy with how he turned out. Moondragon is almost really great too. I just wish they had incorporated a little bit more of the sculpting that I was praising McFarlane for. Her shoulder piece here actually is sculpted. Wish she had that bicep articulation that we've seen with so many other figures, and of course the double jointed elbows. But this little part here on her side piece, on her hips, I wish that were sculpted. And let me give you a better picture so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. I wish that were sculpted and just an additional piece. You know, if McFarlane had that, they'd be all over it. But this head sculpt is really great. She's got the eyebrow cock like she's ready to face the Rock in a face off, but a really good figure. And the benefit of being able to add another DNA Guardians of the Galaxy character was really exciting to me. So got some more team members. And here's this shot I was also able to do. I should be able to add Karnak into this set too. But this is the Guardians versus the Inhumans and the Shiah Imperial Guard. So lots of cool stuff with this set. And a really great 2-pack, especially for $49.99, when you see other sets that are going for $49.99, like Black Knight and Cersei, where it's not a terrible value, but clearly Drax is build-a-figure size, and Moondragon is a pretty good figure on her own too. Daniel says, speaking of Blue Beetle, I'm going to watch it later tonight. I'm excited. Took pictures of my Blue Beetle figures, and it was only hyping me up. Love being a nerd. Which Blue Beetle figures? You talking about the DC Classic ones? Because I feel like they've done some really good figures on Blue Beetle. And, of course, the DC Direct Icons Blue Beetle, which is great. The McFarlane Blue Beetles are almost good. There's one problem with the Ted Cord version, which I'll get to later. But the Jaime Reyes figures look really good. So I'm very curious to see what you think about that. Have you heard that we're getting a Return of Superman in the collection edition? I don't know which version it is. You know we're going to get that mullet black look, but I wouldn't be upset if it's the mullet in just the typical Superman colors, because that gives us options. I pop off the head of my Action Comics 1000 Superman, put him on that body, and hopefully it's a little bit lighter shade of blue than what we've been getting from him. So that could be a figure that I'd really be interested in, especially if they don't give us the Superman Hush body once again. Mr. Cheeseburger, I would love to see a redo of Absorbing Man and Claw. Yeah, you know, it's funny because I was taking pictures earlier today of Claw with my Molecule Man figure, the inspiration for this. And I was a little bit surprised. I thought that was a better figure than when I started fiddling around with him. I was like, hey, this figure has some issues. And I really was hoping, thinking a little bit more of him than I needed to. But I have both of those figures that you talked about right here in this shot. Kind of like a little Secret Wars shot here early on before the whole crew's there. But we got Claw. And like you said, he's a little bit smaller than I thought. And his mold is fine. It's just kind of, he could be a little bigger. Maybe he's a Vulcan mold character candidate as well. We got Ultron, got the Enchantress, Molecule Man, Doctor Doom, Absorber Man, who's way too tall, way too big, Claw, and then Doc Ock with the Toy Biz tentacles. But yeah, for sure, Absorbing Man 1,000,000% needs a better figure and a redo that's more in line with the same height of Thor and Hercules. And I think that's really all he needs. Cal Kestis is the best figure of the year, in my opinion, says 80s Kid. There's a lot of G.I. Joe Classified Series figures that like to have a conversation with you, but that's cool. TCP Toys. Also, the Batmobile from the Flash movie is back up on Best Buy. You know what happened? The gold label classic version's out. Now people are like, yeah, okay, whatever. Who cares? But that's really good. That's cool to see. Perfect Dark. That thing would scare the crap out of me. The Vampire Green Lantern. Yeah, it's wild. It looks like the Joker is a Green Lantern with vampire teeth. Tano says that's a Jared Leto Morbius Green Lantern. I love the Black Lightning figure. I think they did a great job with him too. Let's do Lions BK. Marvel Legends Ghost Rider needs a do-over. You don't even need to specify which one. Any and all would fit perfectly in this category. Both Johnny Blaze and Danny Catches. He hasn't been touched since Toy Biz days. And I'm feeling really bad about getting rid of my Toy Biz Dan Catch figure because I was always assuming I'd get a better one from Hasbro when they took the line. And so far, nada. But yeah, absolutely want to see a better one in both of these figures because they're cool looking characters that need better figures. Ryan, what's up, man? What's up, Jeffrey and people? Just got the Black Series Darth Malik and Bastilius Shan. What do you think? Jamelin, that Kyle's a decent figure, but he could use a repaint. I have no idea why they went so light on this green. Yeah, that was a really odd choice. There's no real comic reference for him in lime green or Sprite green. It's like, what are we doing, Ty? And he's not one to go as often to fix coloring like Hasbro would. Like, oops, sorry, you meant this color, this shade? Here we go. Here's a brand new figure just for you. I wish we could trade in our older versions of characters and just like, here, Target, I'm giving you this version without the swapping technique. You know, just like, hey, here's my rebate. So I'm what, $5 off on this new Human Torch figure because this one looks way better. You know, we'll break it down. Mickey Raw, how the Shadowcat figure from the old Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave. She's beautiful, but the flaw, she is way too tall. We need a redo ASAP. What costume would you want her in? Yeah, she is like ridiculously too tall now with every figure that comes out from the Astonishing Era team. And you are 100% correct because I just shot my Emma Frost figure and the clearance redeem version. But yeah, I mean, Kitty Pryde is way too tall. She's eye to eye, maybe even a little bit taller than Cyclops. And she really needs to be, if we're perfectly scaling her, about the same height as this Toy Biz Astonishing Costume Wolverine. I don't know what they were doing. The figure is really nice. If they could just figure out a way to shrink her down and give her the bicep articulation, the double jointed elbows, of course. But I love that head sculpt, and I think that works so well for the Astonishing Kitty Pryde, but absolutely, she 100% needs that better version. And then you also ask, what costume would I want her in? I really want Shadowcat in her Shadowcat attire. We got one with that Excalibur pack. Her hair is like modern, straight, and not frizzy 80s style. I don't understand what they were doing. There's some other aspects to the costume, like her sleeves aren't puffy enough. So she'd be, that version, we've already gotten that character in that look already, but that's the one I'd want to see redone. And, even because it's in a box set, I definitely want a better version of her. She'd be a great candidate for a retro X-Men line and get her more appropriately done in that 80s style than whatever they decided to go with this box set version. Let's build out the outsiders. Give me Metamorpho, Katana, Geoforce, Halo, and Forager. Oh, you said Forager, and I'm like, why would you put him with the outsiders? But yes, for Young Justice. I would love to get the whole outsiders crew. I feel like Mattel dropped the ball. They didn't complete that team. We got a Black Lightning. We got a Metamorpho. We never got Katana. GL4 should have been a really easy repaint figure, no looker. I mean, we had Batman, of course, so we can count him. But I mean, that was a small team, and we didn't get Halo, GL4, Katana, Looker, and it was like, why? You guys, I mean, this team is a really easy one to do, and they just weren't interested. And they decided, let's do more modern characters. Let's do all the rainbow lanterns that were cool, but were already outdated by the time they came on shelves. Perfect Dark. I'm glad I started collecting action figures again since childhood because it truly gives your mind rest from all the world. Dude, this world is crazy. There's always so much stuff going on. We just had to pay because our air conditioner fan was conked out after we just finished paying it off. So it was like, yay! We had like a whole month doing a victory dance, and we paid off the HVAC. And then it was like, gotcha, it's July/August, and now it's time to pay for something else. So absolutely, going out talking about figures, finding figures, especially on clearance, feels like a really good deal. So yeah, I'm with you, and it definitely makes things a lot better in this wild, crazy world of ours. Mr. Cheeseburger, and I forgot the jack-o'-lantern. Yes, he is. He's right behind Hobgoblin in my display. The goblin characters who can't stand. I still have the Toy Biz Green Goblin as my default green Goblin on my shelf. I was about to say Green Lantern. So yeah, I'm with you. Jack-o'-lantern definitely needs a better executed figure. I like that they made him thin and skinny, but there's no way for him to use his boomstick and do anything. So it just didn't work. He'd be a character that would really benefit from a stand. And I know Hasbro just never really includes stands with figures, but him, Goblin, Hobgoblin would be characters they really should implement some sort of stand / base, really small base that the figures can actually use to simulate their powers better. Robert says, yeah, that Drax is impressive. I may grab later. I'm shocked that he's still on the site at $49.99. I figured people would jump and grab him so he'd sell out. But I think at this rate, everybody who waited can get him and Moondragon for even cheaper when that next Pulse sale comes around. And that's going to be easily one of the biggest steals of the year. If that gets down, let's say, knocked down by $15, a really great deal for that set. So good luck to everybody who hasn't gotten it. But I'm actually okay paying that price for those two figures because I feel like they actually delivered and did a good job on it. That's a great set. I just wish Moondragon had better arms. Both figures have excellent head sculpts, though. Yeah. And typically with these, these 2-packs or 3-packs, I kind of want more heads, but I think Moondragon's head is so perfect that she didn't need another expression unless they want to go and throw in the headband for no reason because it wouldn't match anything else with that outfit. But yeah, I was really happy with the set. Miguel Perez, what's up? I like to see a new Quicksilver in his regular costume, and would be cool if they did speed effects like McFarlane does. And that's weird that they don't do that, but I guess they can kind of get away with it because Quicksilver is their biggest speedster, and they can avoid that by just not cranking out his figure. But yeah, Quicksilver definitely be a figure that I would like to see redone because his head in that 3-pack is melon size, and they don't really do his hair the way that they should have done it. It's more of a, hey, here's a version of how he looks, but not quite how he should look. And the hair wisps are definitely something that I miss with that set. And he's an easy candidate for a better version because we need a repaint of him anyway with here it is. I had to pull it up real fast while I was rambling on. But here's what he looked like. And I just really wish we had gotten a better version of that where the hair is actually up in those little points and sized down about 2 head sizes smaller. It actually makes good use of that Sunfire mold. So that would be good. But we can get this blue, maybe just a tad bit lighter, and then the green original look so we can have him, Wanda chilling with Captain America and Hawkeye with Cap's kooky quartet, and how they appeared fighting the X-Men as part of the original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So yeah, I would love to see him get a redo as well. And I'm waiting on clearance for Hawkman for the collector's line. No extra accessories again. Everything is going to be clearance for sure. That Hawkman, that's not the Hawkman I wanted either. Going 0 hour is a real questionable choice because it's like, who was clamoring for anybody from 0 hour except for maybe Extant? But his look is not as cool as the whole thread of him in the comic. I'm excited about Retro Duke and Scarlet. So those are two that we're definitely getting redos on that needed them. And maybe I shouldn't say needed them. The original figures were fine, but yeah, after the whole direction, the shift in how we wanted more real American hero designs with a little tweak of modern touch to them, definitely better to have retro versions of them coming. Hopefully, we'll actually see what they look like come PulseCon, which is a month or two away at this point. Ken Robinson, it worked, but they don't give me lunch. So what up, Jeff? Really want them to redo the Annihilation Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't want to spend $300 to $400. Yeah, that's a whole other set that they could redo, and I think would make sense. And it's kind of unfortunate in the sense that they've done 3 Guardians of the Galaxy films and haven't really done another version of the comic DNA set. Oh, there we go. Because yeah, there's still a ton of those figures. And this is an Entertainment Earth exclusive, but yeah, there's a different way to go with this whole set because this is back in 2016 when I did not realize light meant so much to photo photography. But yeah, this Rocket's good, but he would benefit from better articulation. He has none at his hips. And I think Drax is pretty good, but I think they could do a better head sculpt. And now, but Gamora, she's not even properly colored. She should be in that dark blue with red as opposed to green and gold. So she could definitely benefit from a different version. This Groot is a redo of the movie figure. And at this point, he was wearing a whole outfit, just like the rest of the team. So he would definitely need a new figure. And I never even finished that original Groot figure, still need the leg. I don't know if I care that much, but yeah, this set would absolutely benefit from new figures all around. I still like the Star-Lord, so he's fine, but yeah, I would not be upset with getting those guys all over again. I've been taking pictures of movie versions. I sadly still don't have that blue and gold 2-pack. Yeah, Daniel, it was a great deal if you could get it for like $20. I don't think it was worth paying more than that. And I'm really hoping he goes super gold label, pun sort of intended with that, and go more with the old school versions of both characters. I wish the Ted Cord had extra hands in that Booster Gold and Blue Beetle 2-pack. I wish he had translucent goggles. That's my main issue with him. Doom will always look cool. He does. I mean, that figure is so far and away one of my top 10 Marvel Legends figures. I was tinkering with the shoot, and I was like, man, this Doctor Doom figure is so cool. They just knocked him out. Tom Finn, 2018. What's up? What did Superman do about that mullet when he was Clark Kent? I have a hard time picturing Clark Kent with a mullet. Well, so to further the look of, hey, we're two totally different people, I got to show you a picture of what Clark Kent did during this mullet era, and it will shock and amaze you, no doubt. So let's see here. Let's pull this up so you can absolutely see what they did with Superman during the mullet era and Clark Kent. Yeah, here you go. Perfect shot. So that's it. He was rocking a ponytail. And that was definitely a choice for Superman, making sure that it was definitely the 90s era. So that was what Clark was doing. That was his style back then. Definitely an option for Superman and Clark Kent. And definitely a different look for him. And certainly one where it's like, if you lived through that era, it wasn't quite as ridiculous as it seemed, probably looking back now, but it was definitely a different look for Clark Kent if you're used to his traditional short hair look. Great Secret Wars photo. Thank you so much, Blake. I bought the collected hardcover and reread the whole thing last month. It's such a great read. I know the whole thing was like, hey, toy line, let's just throw everybody in there, but Jim Shooter wrote the mess out of that story and made sense. And like the X-Men, the Outcasts still feel like outcasts, and they're leaving. They do their own thing for a long time. They kind of start working the seas for Magneto as a good guy here. So much stuff happened from it. A new Spider-Woman. We got 2 new villains in Titania and Volcana. Molecule Man kind of gets this different personality, or gets this whole new sense of what he should be like in that. As I reread the storyline, I'm kind of like, man, Black Panther would have been so cool in this thing. And I'm really shocked that Vision wasn't part of it. But I think they really did a good job of nailing the most important characters who made sense and just the battle royal aspect of the heroes versus villains. So great, so much fun. And I'm really hoping to redo that entire thing in Marvel Legends form with modern figures, better articulation for everybody. Just do the whole thing up. Ryan, lots of Marvel Legends ladies need updating with better articulation, especially Hellcat and Black Cat. Also need a classic Valkyrie. Yeah, because that old version that Hasbro did definitely needs a better one. I can't wait for the reveal of Supergirl. Hope the legs aren't red in that SDCC showcase. I don't know what was going on with that, but I am with you. I was so surprised and like, that's not going to work. And I don't know why they showed that look for her, because it's like she's never done that style in the comic books. So I don't know what their inspiration was from it, but it really threw me off. And I'm hoping, like you, that that was just a quick mistake and they're gonna fix it. Because yeah, but as usual, I mean, the thing that's always so cool about McFarlane, he's showing you a figure and then like right away, hey, here's a prototype. I mean, it's such a quick process with him. And it's weird that this vampire Green Lantern looks so much different here. He really looks like he's a Joker version, which I know some of y'all mentioned, but yeah, these this whole red pants deal for Supergirl, you can't even see her boots. That make a lot of sense to me. So hopefully we'll fix that when we get this figure finally coming to us. Daniel, I also got the Batman 89 from the Flash movie and from Amazon. I'm glad I paid less than 20. Not loving the way that turned out, huh? Kelly Cox. I can almost make a recording by this point, but my pick for a redo, Danny Ketch. Yeah. Dan, I don't know why he has fallen so out of favor at Marvel and with Hasbro, because he had a great outfit. And you could easily tell the difference between him and Johnny Blaze. It's just, we could get a standalone Johnny Blaze figure from the Midnight Suns era. That would be cool too. So lots of questions on that. Rodney Sessoms, what's up? Good evening, Jeffrey. Running a little late, tuning in. Welcome aboard. Said it before, but the retro card Iron Man from 2016 is offensively outdated. Bad joints, way too small, just horrible. We need a redo of that neoclassic armor. You saw the thumbnail. That's absolutely one of my choices, because that figure was around for some classic moments in Marvel history, including the Infinity Gauntlet. And the figure that they've cranked out twice now just isn't getting it done. I mean, we've got the great Iron Man mold. So it's basically just a matter of putting on the additional parts to make it work. But yeah, this neoclassic just absolutely deserves a better figure at this point. There's not a lot of other obvious Iron Man choices, but that for sure is one of them that we need. Absolutely. All right, next year we're going to get Batman New 52. Yeah, I think so. I feel like they've done a really good job with his figures, so I don't think I have no reason to doubt that Todd will pass up a chance to do any and every version of Batman possible. Jay Woods, what's up? Good evening, Jeffrey. How about a World War II Bucky Barnes? Yeah, because that original one that they did, not great. And I like to see young Bucky. That way we could have an Invaders set up with Namor, with Cap, with Bucky. And if we just strip away some of the paint, we could throw in an old vintage Human Torch. I'd love to see a 2-pack of him and Toro. That would be cool. Something they could do. Shoot, the Invaders would be a really easy box set. A team that they could knock out. Maybe they'd have to throw in a Captain America to make people go, oh, okay, I want this. I guess we don't really need another Namor, so we could put Cap, Bucky, Human Torch, Jim Hammond, Toro, maybe Vision, Spitfire, Union Jack, whichever way you want to go with it. But that would be great to get a box set of those characters, make that work, and just do the thing. I love a kitty in her training suit made with a Valeria Richards buck. Does that one have double jointed elbows and bicep articulation? I'm really curious about that, because I did not want anything to do with that set. 80s kid. I love collecting G.I. Joe classified action figures is my new hobby. It reminds me of my childhood when I would go to Toys R Us and there'd be so many toys to choose from. I miss Toys R Us. TCB Toys. Todd needs to build out the Apocalypse characters. Since we got Cal back, I've been craving for more of them. We haven't gotten anyone, have we? We're still missing Orion, Mr. Miracle, Light Ray, Darkseid, Granny Goodness, Steppenwolf. I mean, now there are a lot of problems I have with character selections from DC Classics, but the new guys was definitely not one of them. I feel like they did more than I expected, and of course, I still wanted more, but I think they really knocked out a good collection of those. I wouldn't mind it getting a Kato, a Granny Goodness, a Forever People, and Infinity Man, but I think they did a really good job in terms of what they gave us. Andre Montalongo. Yes. Yeah, new Jack-O-Lantern would be great. Yes, for sure. Oh, supposedly we are getting a Jack-O-Lantern next year. Hope the rumor is true. Yes, hopefully. Crossing both fingers. Hopefully that will happen. Christopher Vo's in the building, coming in late. Hello, Jeffrey. What's up, man? Hopefully you're having a good day. Can't believe Todd is giving us a Batman Inc. Rebirth 3-pack featuring Batman, Clayface, and Batwoman. I hope the price is the same as that Superman versus Doomsday 2-pack. Probably not if we're going to get Clayface in there. But I'm really curious to see what his Batwoman looks like. That would be cool. Uh-oh. Mr. Cheeseburger, what's going on? You did get good news. My 2 grunt figures, Tana Rat and Crimson Viper, on the way. Snow Job arrived today also. Did you order them from somebody outside of the Pulse or Amazon or Entertainment Earth? Because if they're dropping already, my wallet is going to be like Alderaan screaming and then suddenly silenced. Jeffrey, I know you're not into the TMNT, but the time is nigh. You can get a NECA shoebox there for the low price of only $300. Television sold separately. Whew. Between them and Thundercats, I think they do the most with their Super 7s Thundercats. They do the absolute most, providing really great figures, play sets, accessories, and all the supporting characters you could possibly ask for. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to stay away from watching Turtles like a binge weekend session, because then I'll go, I want them all, and that would be trouble for me. Roberts, I think old school all white Moon Knight is a must at this point, or the gold bangle one, so you can hang out with the West Coast Avengers. Excuse me. Northern Nomad says, Jeffrey, did Todd say when certain new figs come out? Mainly new Wonder Woman and Hawkman. Well, we saw the pictures of Hawkman, so I assume we're going to see Wonder Woman really soon. The collector showcase that he showed at Comic-Con, we've seen just about every one of those figures now. The Batman 66 figures have been up for pre-order now, sold out in some cases. Batman, Robin, Superman. So they're rolling with them. So I think we'll see Wonder Woman hopefully really soon. That's the one I'm most looking forward to, of course. And she'll actually work. Oh, yes. 80s Kid said, still need Stalker, Spirit, Storm Shadow, Slaughter, and Snake Eyes with Timber. You do need those. They're really great figures. And Christopher said, some of those are available on Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and Hasbro Pulse. Yeah, you can't miss out on those. Those are really great figures. A new Neo Classic Iron Man is the last Iron Man I really want in my collection. Critical Enjoyer, I'm with you. I feel like if we get him, I'll be good on Iron Man figures. And I'm sure that's exactly what Hasbro wants to hear. Oh, great. We can stop making Iron Man figures. Hold them out. I do want the Mark II gold armor so I can have the whole original look for the Avengers. So I still need him. So Hasbro, you're still in the hook with me for a couple more Iron Man figures. But if you get that Neo Classic one out sooner, that'd be appreciated. I have a small complaint about Deathstroke Rebirth, even though it's released last year. Why didn't they give him a gun holster? One complaint they gave us without a gun. Yeah, it's funny because that figure is like going pretty cheap now, and they still haven't done the classic Marv Wolfman, George Perez version that I want, but they have done that Rebirth one is a pretty good figure. And I'm trying to feel like he's really cheap now at Best Buy of all places. So let me see if that is still the case. Yes, he is still really cheap. So this is the get your own holster, because we've got this figure on clearance for $14, and that's not bad. I mean, I think this is a really cool looking figure of old Slade Wilson himself, even though this isn't my favorite look for him. But I think this is a really nice costume, and the sword's nice and big. I guess he didn't have a No, he does have a holster for the sword. That's good. No gun, like you mentioned, but Todd's at least trying to make ways so we can work around that whole no guns. Guns are bad, but swords to grab some food, make a kebab. Those are great. No problem. Todd needs to give us Granny Goodness. Can you imagine what Todd's Granny Goodness would look like? She would be huge and big. Robert, right now, rock and roll is my favorite classified. Hints of old, but fresh and new. Yeah. And he got the tattoo on his hands. He can do the whole Joker thing. That's cool. And a really great head sculpt. I mean, that beard is phenomenal. And I only hope the same is true with Clutch. Redo of a regular Silver Surfer and a classic Iron Fist and or Jessica Jones double jointed leather jacket. I was going to pull out because he is close by so I can get to him. Let me grab this figure so you all can see. There we go. The magic of switching off to another image. So I had this when I was shooting Molecule Man. For those old school Avenger fans will remember when Molecule Man and Silver Surfer got into it, and then he decided I'm going to make Hydra my slave. So yeah, this is that original Silver Surfer that you're talking about, the Walgreens edition, not the one from the Galactus pack. Yeah, it's still a fun figure. I really wish he could hold on to his board a little bit better. I wish maybe they gave him 2 pegs for the board, but solid figure. I don't hate it. And I'm curious, what would you like to see redone with the figure? Different color silver? But yeah, let me know. David Thanos in the building. Would love a DC Multiverse Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. Maybe that's a 2-pack. I'd buy him. Hey, some of us have ponytails today. Yes, that's true. But I feel like with Superman, it was such a jarring switch for him, and people were like, "What are y'all doing?" I kind of liked it because it worked in the sense of, "Hey, this is a totally different look for him." And they didn't just immediately cut his hair, and I thought that was kind of an interesting choice to go with Superman. And it worked for the time. How do I feel about the new 52 Death of Superman? Yeah, it's okay. I feel like it could have been a lot better. The Doomsday for sure. I heard too many complaints about how loose the Doomsday joints are, but yeah, I feel like it could have been better. You can almost hear Ponytail Superman singing "Achy Breaky Heart." Exactly. And then having a young daughter, maybe having John play Wrecking Ball later on. Thank you so much. Make sure I have your name down properly. And Exolit, oh, that has to be a butcher name. Let me see. Exolit, wow. Do me a favor. Tell me how to pronounce your name. Thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. And now to your question. I really want a new Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. Updated super articulation too, please. So we're talking about that. Let me see. The one, I guess you said Captain Marvel. So that would not indicate my favorite Warbird look for her. Let's see. I wonder how much trouble it would be to find Captain Marvel. Here we go. Again, another super old figure review from way back in the day, from 2016. I really like this figure. I love the head sculpt. I think it's great. I love the way her hair is sticking out over here, and the fact that this figure actually looks like a woman, so she's not a frail waif. Really like that, and she's got a little, that little posability and personality to the sculpt. I mean, I don't understand why Hasbro has such an issue making female figures look like women. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this figure, and she looks great, and she has 2 head sculpts, so it's really cool. And this is her with old school Toy Biz Captain Marvel's plural, and I like this version with the translucent blue, so maybe that's something Hasbro could do. But yeah, I like this figure a lot, and both of them. These are 2 of my favorite Marvel Legends women figures because they got a little heft to them. They've got bicep articulation, and I think double jointed elbows. But either way, really strong figures. Let me know what you would want to switch on that. I'm really curious. Maybe we're talking about that super articulation like Black Widow that I still can't find in shelves. Hopefully, the rest of y'all can find it. Shay Woods wins. Achy Breaky Clark. Nice. Did I see that DC animated movie, Justice League Warworld? I did not. It's on my list to watch, and I think I'm just gonna wait till it gets on Max because the premise didn't really excite me, and it basically said, "Don't get too invested in this universe. We're moving on." So I'll see it when I see it. Blake, yeah, Vision and Black Panther missing from Secret Wars was like, We Are the World not inviting Michael McDonald and instead Dan Aykroyd. I know, I'm gonna be there. He told him, you just gotta wait me out. Yeah, so we'll see. Jamin, look up McFarlane DC Supergirl. Why not just retool that sculpt? Yeah, yeah. I think that was using old DC Essentials mold for her. So yeah, that would be fine because those DC Essential figures were not even quietly. They were low key some really good figures. I just wish they had scaled them properly, where one figure didn't look the exact same height as another. Because a Nightwing is an exceptional figure. It's just he is looking eye to eye with Superman, and to me, you can't have that. He's always got to be shorter than Superman, even with a ponytail. So here you go. This is what you were talking about. Supergirl, deceased, great head sculpt for that. And deceased, I will again rep hard. An absolutely great storyline from DC, making full great use of the whole zombie thing. And it was a really well told, really well done story. And so many surprises. It wasn't a traditional DC storyline. Tom Taylor just knocked it out. And trying to remember all the artists that work with him on it, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. And because it's going to drive me nuts, and I always want to make sure that I'm crediting all those great art. I think it was Trevor Hairstone, and I thought for a half second, I think that was how you said his name. Yeah, Cease is great, really worth checking out. Sure. And let's get here. Trevor Harrison. Yes. Very good stuff. Definitely recommend that. I want my classic Wasp from Marvel Legends. Same. Me too. David. Easy solution. Redo everything pinless. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset with that, especially with better articulation. Christopher Voles. I'm amazed they haven't come out with a deluxe Wasp with a variety of alternate outfits. She's a one character who kind of needs it. Yeah, I mean, for sure. You can never do too many Wasp figures. At this point, I'm really thinking we need that Secret Wars look. And another option for her is multiple head sculpts. So a deluxe would really make sense with her, where you get short hair, shorter hair, the helmet hair. I mean, just so many options for Wasp figures. And yeah, I would still buy like 30 different versions of Wasp figures, and I love your idea of the deluxe version. Tom Finn, Ollie, there aren't many modern Hasbro 2014 President redos that I really need. The Kyle Richmond Nighthawk is probably the biggest one, but we were lucky to get the first one. What would you like changed with him? Because I was messing around with my Defenders and had him pose, and I was like, it still holds up pretty well. Hellcat's really my main one from that crew, and of course Valkyrie that needs dramatic updates. So let me know what you want to switch with that. Yes, we need an Invader set. Thank you for being there with me, 80s Kid. Andre, worst figure in my opinion, and needs a complete redo is the Sentinel Prime figures. That came with a HasLab Sentinel. Bastion was a huge disappointment. I didn't get that Bastion. Of course, I didn't get the HasLab Sentinel. What was so bad with him? X-Men First Class needs a redo badly. Oh man, that was a great movie. I'm assuming you're talking about that horrific box set that needs an absolute overhaul. Because boy, that set with Angel and Beast, whew, terrible. I'm trying to pull it up. That was why I was taking a half second, but I hated that set. That was one of the few where I was like, I am not buying that. Don't care whatsoever. They did use my boy Cyclops in that great mold, but yeah, the rest of them weren't great. Let's see here. Let's go to the image on its own. I don't know what they were thinking with this angel head. It just looks terrible. I mean, the outfit, the colors with the yellow not matching up, just bad. I mean, how is this a different color than this and then this? And Marvel Girl's okay, but I don't like these X's not being consistent from one figure to the next. These trunks, not a good look either. It's just, what are we doing? And just bad. Iceman, the figure who could never get a good character, or not a character who could never get a good figure, always had issues. Beast, I don't dislike Beast as much. I feel like they could reuse a lot of this to do a human Beast and give him X Factor colors. So maybe that's something they go with. But yeah, it's that set, not great. And I would be happy, just like you, to get a whole version of those guys. Rain, Rock 80s Rants and Real Talk. What up, though? What up? Tom Finn, yeah, I would love an updated X-Men First Class set. That's a good one. Kwame Taylor, I'm just waiting for McFarlane to be done with DC. Oh, who do you want to see take it over? That's always the question I got to ask. Stickman, what's up? I've said it before and I said it again. I want a Balder the Brave, Olivia Copio version. Yeah, I mean, I want a Balder version, and he's somebody that can do various looks, and I'd be totally happy buying multiple figures. Still can't believe we had four versions of Thor films and not one Balder figure managed to sneak through the gates. It's just he's definitely a character who is long overdue for a figure. Hayden TCEM2, thank you so much for the $4.99, my friend. We still need a classic Barry Flash and Ian Bard Reverse Flash McFarlane superpowers. While they're at it, maybe they could remake all the old figs. I thought they did a Reverse Flash and superpowers. Is that based on the new era, the new 52 look? I thought they did. But yeah, I would be happy with those too. I think the superpowers are pretty fun figures, not that expensive, and definitely taps that nostalgia button just so. But yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have that. Did I need to pay $5 to have my comments seen? Oh well, you deserve it regardless. I try to answer most questions and comments. I do appreciate any and all help for the channel. So thank you, all this sake. Kwame, I wonder why Mayfex didn't focus on the figures Hasbro won't do. The Goblin Queens and Mephistos instead of Wolverines and Captain Americas. You know, the one thing is they still have trouble with female figures and kind of making them. And their figures skew skinny anyway, a little bit smaller than the typical Hasbro, Mattel, McFarlane figure. So, you know, it doesn't really fill that void for my collection. So a Goblin Queen would probably look comic accurate, but she looked microscopic next to a Marvel Legend, Jean Grey, or Cyclops, where they would tower over her, and she's supposed to be kind of a twin clone of Jean anyway. So unless we got a really good one like that Phoenix that looks amazing, then I may have to go against my normal Mayfex Marvel stance and grab. But yeah, I don't know if I really need those versions from them. I'd love to see as Marvel and Hasbro specifically go, you know what? We're selling to adult collectors. We can actually make them look right and stick to the comic accuracy. Ryan, you're right. The Valeria Buck is pretty bad for articulation. I just meant for scale. Yeah, that scale is important. I'm looking at my Jubilee figure and I'm like, you're taller than Wolverine. That's not right. We need a smaller version of her. I agree on Surfer and Iron Fist. I need to add both of those as favorites. Iron Fist for sure. We desperately need a better Iron Fist. I don't know why they're delaying on it. We got that better version of Power Man, so we can finally cross him off the list. But where's his boy? I mean, they're the original team, original duo, hanging out, kicking it, just regardless. Oh, you're black. Oh, you're white. Whatever. You're my dog. So let's do the thing. After Child. So that Jada Toys to Mortal Kombat. Maybe Injustice would be amazing. Finally, 6-inch figures, DC scale or DC figures. But Jada Toy is getting a lot of love from people who want to see them doing DC figures. Christopher Voles. I want a Predator Rescue Team in 112 scale. But since no one has, I'll just turn Dusty, Falcon, Gung Ho, Roblox, Sergeant Slaughter, and Stalker into Poncho, Hawkins, Dylan, Billy, Blaine, Dutch, and Mac. As long as they get to the chopper. But I like that idea. If you do that, let me see. Chairberg Man Cave, happy Thursday to you as well. Hypersleep Dialogues. We need Carol Miss Marvel on the Shriek Body. That one's a little too slender. I like the Shriek Body, of course. It has all the articulation that we really need for these figures, but yeah, I feel like we need different bucks for female figures. The Kitty Pryde version, the Invisible Woman, style. Rogue style, Storm style. I mean, those figures shouldn't all have the same physique. And Emma Frost shouldn't have the same physique as any of them. So they need to mix it up, just like they do with the dude figures. And, you know, so we just don't have one size fits all for female figures like the Shriek body is, even though it should be the standard if they're just going to stick with one mold for female figures. Mr. Cheeseburger got them from Hong Kong and Taiwan. Hopefully by next show, you can let me know what you think of them. I am so looking forward to, I'm starting to see pictures and people are getting them. So I can't wait to hear from your take on them, because those for sure on my list. We need a new Warbird. There's another call for a better Warbird. She is so far down on my list of figures that need a redo, but the people here on Alice Figure Files are definitely speaking. We also need a redo of the Toy Biz Kree soldiers. Hyper Sleeping with you, because I need to army build them to fight my 5 scrolls, and I really wish we get more of those. But since I just talked about it, let's talk about this latest set from Hasbro. The Marvel Legends Hydra versus Shield Trooper. And I think this is a really strong set here. We've got all kinds of stuff here. Let's try that again. Let's open to this one. Lots of accessories here. We got 3 alternate head sculpts. Awesome. We got at least a white blonde. We got a black lady. Not sure we could read. This character is totally several different races. She could be black. She could be Hispanic. She could be South Asian. Lots of ways to go with that character. So that's cool. And different guns. Cool. Got a little pulse emitter there. That's really good. The sneer on the Hydra agent is outstanding. Got a smaller blaster. Then we got the helmet that we've seen with the dude shield agents. Looks like a perfect match for that blue. The big shield cannon. Smaller guns look like they can be interchangeable, so you can just use the small guns with whichever one you choose. And I really like all these different options here. And you can mix and match all you want. The shield agents can hold the helmet, so you got that look, that option too. It's kind of reminds me of Cynthia Day Robinson, who played Amanda Waller in Arrow. You know, just a little bit darker, but I think she really channels that look for me. So lots of cool stuff with this set. And there's that head sculpt, a really great one. So when Hasbro's team wants to do great female head sculpts, you can see they can knock them out. That's a really great head sculpt. And then you can swap it out here. Again, love that sneer on the Hydra agent. You do a little mixing and matching here. That's great. Love to see that option. But of course, the one thing with this set that you can't really do as easily is because you can't swap it out and go, hey, look, here's the Hydra character again, because of the mask, and that kind of restricts what you can do, what you can get away with that character. I mean, this is the masked Hydra agent look, so we can't really go, hey, here's a black agent. She's got to be white with the helmet or the mask on. So that's a bit of a buzzkill, but I really like this set. The price is fair, $25 a piece. But like the Black Widow, it comes with so many accessories, so much stuff that is worthwhile. I'm pretty sure this is the Shriek mold, so really good. You got all of these accessories. That's pretty solid. Not going to complain. This is coming out really soon, though, so September 15th. I was really happy to see that it did not sell out right away. And, you know, for all of us army builders, that's really cool. Trying to see if there's a limit to how many you can buy. Doesn't look like, let's see here. Well, that's just funny. You know, it's not going to be 9. But I'm really curious how many of you guys pre-ordered that set. I can't believe I haven't gotten my new Black Widow. And I went to check to see what was holding it up. Then I find out that Target canceled my order, and I didn't care. Target canceling an order? Unreal. Never heard of that. Yeah, they're real sneaky and really shady with their pre-orders sometimes. I find that with the WWE stuff, they're okay, but they're really hit or miss, to the point where if I see it in stores, I don't worry about my pre-order. I'm canceling it, because chances are it's just a race to see between me or Target which one's going to cancel. Mr. Cheeseburger, I'm not a huge DC Multiverse fan, but Classic Darkseid is a must-have. As long as he doesn't try to go too modern and try to change up stuff, a gold label classic mega fig Dark Side could be one of McFarlane's best figures. Christopher votes, Jeffrey, Hasbro's problem with making female figures look like women is kind of Disney's problem with casting females who don't look like them. Tom Holland has a more curvaceous behind than Brie Larson. I'll take your word for it. There are old Mattel DC figures in Ascension scale. Yes. Dave Jr., how much does figures not scaling bother you? So much. Can you let a couple slide? A said figure had great articulation, paint apps. All right, so let's see here. I have to answer your question. This figure, this molecule man, and this figure is the one that prompted this whole discussion on why a figure needs an immediate redo. So here is Silver Surfer. I'm pretty sure he's using the Sunfire mold. And here is Molecule Man. Molecule Man in basically every comic book has been portrayed as a small character, kind of weaselly, definitely short. He shouldn't be towering over anybody, let alone a character that has the power of cosmic. So scale drives me nuts because normally it's a thing of the sculptor or the production team going, that's fine, don't worry about it, it looks good enough. This figure, there's a lot wrong with the head sculpt, just doesn't match up. I'm sorry, it does match up with the Secret Wars Dado version head sculpt with calm, serene, I'm cool, I'm unbothered with everything Molecule Man, but it's not the classic Molecule Man that I wanted. I feel like a lot of you all wanted too. So he's just too tall, too big, and it's just, this is wrong. And Hasbro and companies that don't pay attention to scale, it's a real problem. So let me give you a really good example. Hopefully I can pull this out. But Jax used to drive me insane with the sculpting of their figures because they did not care whatsoever about scale and making figures match up properly with one another. We could have figures who were noticeably shorter being the same height as other characters, best embodied by Rey Mysterio and the Undertaker. You can see here exactly what I'm talking about. How in the world is the 7-foot Undertaker and Rey Mysterio looking eye to eye with one another? I mean, it's just stupid, and definitely something that won me over so fast when Mattel got the WWE license. Like, whoa, you guys are actually paying attention to scale. Scale is something that I feel like you can fix really quickly just by caring and making sure the parts that you're using, because 90% of the time these characters, these figures they're not new sculpts, so they're using parts that already exist. And a lot of times it's just, hey, these parts are going to make this character too big, too short. You go, I don't care, let's go with it. And that's really frustrating. I would much rather have waited for Molecule Man to get a smaller mold if he would size properly with everyone, as opposed to being so tall he could almost fit in with McFarlane's 7-inch DC line. It's a real problem for me. So scale is really high on my list, and it takes an exceptional figure for me to overlook it. And most of the time, if they've ignored scale, the figure's not exceptional. Do you have figures where the great articulation and paint apps have made up for the poor scaling for you? Let me know, Dave. Everyone has trouble with the name. Inks-a-lot-ties. Okay, as for what I changed, definitely add some black with articulation. Also some improved face print and a better choice in yellow for the suit. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Those are definitely changes that they could definitely do for that figure, and I'd be right there with you. Redo of comic Miles Morales would be awesome. That figure's pretty good. I like that one, and I wouldn't be upset if they took a while, but he's a figure. They did a deluxe one, he'd be a really good one. And I know I don't want to keep pushing these figures to deluxe, but as we saw Black Widow going deluxe in the way they did with Black Widow, they could do some really great figures. So yeah, he's one that will benefit from that format as well. Kwame, McFarlane didn't work on that deceased line. They were reissues from the previous line, which is why they look better than the rest of McFarlane. Ryan, do a wasp wave where instead of bath pieces, everything in the wave has a miniature wasp in a different outfit, and I would buy it. 80 Skate was a Range Viper in the 84 cartoon. No, the Range Viper came from the DIC cartoon, so they're really bad episodes, really poor animation. They just look cool, and they almost managed to survive the atrocities of those terrible episodes of G.I. Joe. Even though they look kind of goofy in those cartoons, just because they can't make anything look cool. But here's an example of the artwork from that show, from that series. It was really wild in a terrible way, not a good way. That's what they looked like on the cartoon. So not awesome, not great. Christopher Vose says, scale always matters to me. If I can fudge it, I might. Like NECA can sometimes fit with Marvel and G.I. Joe, sometimes not. Jalvarez, Thanos' comic book version of the Black Order. Okay, so it's another figure that I could get to fast. Give me a second. So you're talking about this one that I still need to open and review and all that fun stuff, but I'm really close. Or he's talking about the one with the more modern one that was a Build-A-Figure. Let me know. Dog Wrecking Crew redo. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion, infinity %. The Wrecking Crew badly needs redos, and they cannot do them fast enough. Hopefully, not in those semi-modern looks. I'm talking classic Secret Wars attire. Do a box set. I'll buy that, put them with She-Hulk, call it a day, and I'll be all set. Ken, that X-Men First Class set was horrendous. Even though as a 12-year-old kid, I wanted it so bad. I miss Toys R Us so much, Jeff. Yeah, it was, I don't know, man. It was just something fun about going to a store that was just about toys. I mean, yeah, it's cool walking through the cards, walking through the linens and things section of Target, and then turning that corner, seeing the entertainment section in the distance, and then just making that right or left, depending on how your target is. And look, here's the toys. But gosh, going to a store that just had toys and video games, man, it's such a miss. Ren says, what if Jada Toys got the DC license? That's a lot of people who want Jada Toys to get that. I'll need to see them do another couple of lines before I get the DC license, but definitely a lot of momentum in terms of fan support for them. Documenter says, sorry to tell you, McFarlane renewed the license for 2 years. I'm surprised it was just 2 years. I'm wondering if that's why we're seeing more characters and not just the Batman heavy variants from before. Afton Child says, I would also like to see Jada or Hasbro do Resident Evil figures in the 6-inch form. Yeah. I'm down with Resident Evil. I'd love to see more figures for them. Ken, if Jada Toys gets the DC license, this game on. Roberts, I thought Mayflex did just fine with Psylocke. I just thought she was overpriced even for an import. Oh, now I'm wondering if that's because she's a little small, but I thought she had way better head sculpts than anything we've seen so far from Hasbro. Except for maybe that one in the 3-pack. We'll see. A repaint would probably be enough to make me happy on Nighthawk. Would like more of a pure yellow, tighter paint apps, better coverage on the chest symbol, and regular hands without the claws. Yeah, those are really good points. Yeah. It's funny because it feels like he's a character sometimes they're throwing all these great accessories and it covers everything. So it's like, great, never need another one. But like him, he's somebody they could have fixed. And I was in there weird yellow, orange is the new yellow phase. And it was just like, no, just make it yellow. That's what we want to see. Mikey Rowe, I'm still crossing my fingers for a Shiah Imperial Guards box set. We have 5 figures I would want. Manta, Starbolt, Oracle, Smasher. It's really good. Jeez, who's my man in the green who we could probably pledge in there as a Build-A-Figure? He's got the other smaller one. Help me out here. And Sar would be good too. Yeah, there are lots of Imperial Guards that we should get. Maybe 2 box sets so we could actually have something the DC Classics never did with our version of the Marvel answer to the Legion of Superheroes. Mason Carroll, what's going on? Hey, Jeffrey, I just finished all my custom Hall of Armor stands and finished my Iron Man display temporarily. Please send me what that looks like. I'm so curious on that. Dog Avengers saying, I have yet to see these Street Fighter figures. I think they're like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. They're just things I'll never see in person. Mason, and I've made some customs from the latest Avenger comics like the Teeny Stark Ant-Man and the Red Skull Venom. Oh man, that's funny. I'm so far away from reading these current Avengers. I've been going back reading old school Avengers, like when Roger Stern was writing amazing Avenger stories. What happened to Captain Marvel after he was fired from the book is a travesty. Made me want to get that Captain Marvel Doctor Doom set even more. Christopher already have rescue team heads from Etsy, waiting on delivery of figures. Paint may take some time, but even unpainted, I think it'll work. I will happily look forward to seeing what you're doing. Critical Enjoyer. Only Coffin Collectibles is brave enough to make sexy characters in today's climate. And it's so weird because it's like, I mean, you charge $25 for figures, and then you go, well, no, these are for kids too. And it's like, no, guys, that's not right whatsoever. I mean, kids are going, hey, that's 2 figures or 2 video games. What are you talking about? I'm trying to go to the website because I've seen these figures and I'm like, yeah, I don't understand why we just don't get more figures like this. I mean, this figure does not qualify for discounts. But yeah, this Lady Death figure is exactly like the source material. I mean, there's no need to apologize. The character is who the character is. Just do that in figure form. And, don't be afraid to show the difference. I mean, for the longest time, a huge, huge issue with all of us back in the day when Toy Biz did their Jim Lee Cyclops figure was this figure is scrawny. It's not good enough. And all of us were going, this figure looks really chumpy. He's not big enough. I don't know why it has to be this weird thing where we say, oh, this female figure is not the way she looks in the comic book. I mean, we lost our minds when we saw this Hasbro version. And this figure's been improved several times over. The straps aren't like coming up and down. Everything's glued in place. But compared to that Toy Biz figure, it's like, yes, you finally got it. And I don't understand why it has to be this thing with female characters at all. I love this set, JC the Grind. Which one? Oh, yes, the Hydra set. Yeah, the Hydra shield set. It's a really good value, I think. The 2-pack is nice, great sculpts, good accessories. Unfortunately, I already have plenty of shield and Hydra army builders. I think that was a real issue for him because, if you army built the mess out of those Quake figures, especially now that they're at Ollie's, you don't really need to spend $50. I mean, the options of head sculpts are great, but it's not like, oh man, this is such and such character where buying this set would be helpful. It's just like, okay, I've already got generic female heads for my shield agents. What do I need this for? So yeah, I think maybe the time was a little bit off for him. But John Kane says them head sculpts are phenomenal. Every one of them is great, and I think that's the selling point for it. But I'm a little surprised it hadn't sold out. DJ Jedi, we need movie accurate redos of the entire wave of the Avengers in their quantum suits from Endgame. The first run was one of the worst waves in Marvel Legends history. That covers a lot of waves, but yeah, they weren't great. I heard there was a limit of 3 on the new 2-pack. Not sure if that's confirmed, but people were saying that on the Marvel Legends Reddit. Yes, okay, cool. I assume they had to have some sort of limit because that just wouldn't make any sense whatsoever for people to just be able to keep stacking and grabbing as many of them as they wanted, as impressive as they look. So I was trying to go back here and get to it without interrupting one other thing. So let's see here. I haven't tried to put this into the shelf, but it does not look like it says a limit, which is really weird for them. Oh, well, I'm going to trust you, Hypersleep. I'm sure you're not making that up. Mr. Cheeseburger. The upper torso, the Hydra agent looks new with a sculpted torso. The Shield agent looks like she has new legs with key sculpted rings on their legs. Oh, that's good. So that's good. They added something different and new. So maybe it is worth it. I might get a set and try to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with these extra head sculpts, but I like it. I think it's worth $50. Henry G, what's up? A little late to the party. How's everything, brother? Love the t-shirt. Thank you so much. This is part of my new supply, my new stock of t-shirts provided by my wife for my anniversary presents. So yeah, like this DC one. Like to have as many team members or assorted characters as possible on my shirts. DJ Jada. I love the neck on the Shield agent. It's painted on the color of the uniform, not angle of flesh color like the Quake figure. That's a good point. Finally, I can swap out the non-white female heads. There you go. So there's another selling point for this set. All right, so there you go. We got reasons to get it now. Mr. Cheeseburger, Robot Kingdom and Return of the Nerd are where I ordered from. Shipping from Robot Kingdom was a B, but only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe. So true. You love that Molecule Man. It looks amazing. I don't know. I wanted creepy looking Owen Reese with where I would have taken the basic original Secret Wars look, but I wouldn't mind the skeevy looking Molecule Man from the comic books too. Like if I just pop in Molecule Man, Google search, let's see what pops up first. I'm sure knowing the Hasbro team like I do, doing a Google search popped up, hey, this is the look. But I mean, this version for him makes more sense to me than what we got. This one looks creepy, a little bit off. I mean, this head sculpt is just too serene. This is more what I think of when I think of Molecule Man, with this really creepy head sculpt, with the sneering grimace on his face, looking a little bit weird. Or even this one, where I'm the smartest guy in the room. It's just, there's so much to Molecule Man that I don't think is really captured in this head sculpt or how they did this figure. I mean, this Insecure guy, that's Molecule Man. What we got? Not quite. But I'm glad you like it. Henry G, Jeff, do you strictly collect lines or do you grab one-offs from other companies like from time to time? So I got that Dungeons of Dragon, what's his name? Who's still on the site now. He's in the sold out. And because I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons head, I can't even tell you his name. Him and his Panther. They were really cool figures. I really, really like how they turned out. Driss and Guinevere. That's who it is. Yeah, I mean, you can still get this set. That's why they're still there. But I really like them. I thought they were really cool and really would have bought more. So to me, if a figure looks cool, I'll buy it and try to figure out a reason for having it. Sometimes it's like, hey, they'll make for a great addition to the crowd set of WWE pictures. But if the figure looks good, I'll grab it. I'll figure it out. Like I have all the Overwatch characters that they released. I didn't even put them up on display yet, but I thought they were really cool looking figures, so I bought them. So it depends, but yeah, I do that from time to time. As 3PO once said. G-Brew, it even bothered me when I was a kid when the scale was off. My brother had this Wolverine figure that was way too tall, taller than Cyclops. We never played with it. Yeah, like, and that was bothering me so much in the movies. Like, but Wolverine's supposed to be shorter than Cyclops and everyone else. Skew Raider. Scaling and articulation are always important with figures, with 112 and 110 being able to scale with each other often. Exception being some bigger characters, 7-inch, Darkseid, Lobo, Etrigan. Yeah. Always articulation is a factor too, for sure. Hot Banana Water. Redo Superior Spider-Man with the 4 legs. Okay. That's one that would make sense too. James Parks, I knew you would pull up that example. This is one of my biggest gripes. I don't care so much about the exact scale, but Wolverine and Rey Mysterio are short. Martian Manhunter is tall. Yes, and yes. Don't mind me. Just pulling up another example of bad scaling. So here is the Martian Manhunter that you were talking about. A tall figure. Here is the Booster Gold figure that if you look in any comic book of JLI, he is shorter than Martian Manhunter. And this is, I want to make sure that you guys see my finger lined up properly so you can see the scaling is so far off. This is stupid. I mean, it's just no excuse for this. I think I can maybe pull up Martian Manhunter's head to maybe make him the same height as Booster Gold, but scale is too important. I mean, to me, that is just something where if a character's too tall or too short, I can't really look past it. I know some people go, just put him on a stand and make him fly. It's okay, but it's like, no, I just want my figure kind of standing for the most part. And that's a problem. When he's not standing, he's still going to look shorter than Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. That's dumb. I mean, it's just the scale is something that should never be a problem. I can understand if there's a mix up at the factory where it's like, oh, shoot, you were supposed to see his eyes through this sculpt, not do it like this. That's something that's like, I don't like it, but it's not going to stop me from getting a figure. But if a figure's too tall or too short, I'm not interested. I saw that DC Multiverse Captain Atom, and he looks small. He looks too slender. And it's like, I was excited about seeing that figure being done, but then it was like, he's a character who would just fine using that Superman hush body sculpt. He's big. He can be a little bit brawny sometimes, depending on who's drawing him. I think that would have been fine for him, but he's too small and too skinny. And I'm like, I don't know. Probably not down for him for $20. Maybe for cheaper, but he would have been a no-brainer purchase for me if they used a better body for him. But scale is likeness, scale are really important for me. So if a figure is the right height, I'm on it. I can overlook some issues with paint and maybe the comic book or the costume not being 100% accurate, but if he's too short, too small, that starts right there for me. These lines should have a range of 3 or 4 main sizes, plus your bigger, taller, fatter, buffer, etc. standouts. For sure. I mean, it's just, I feel like when they're starting these lines, that's where they need to start. Like, okay, here's our average hero height. Here's our super soldier Captain America height. Here's our Asgardian god height. And you do that. Here's somebody who's a little bit bigger, thicker than somebody else. And they don't need to be too slender. And that's something with Mattel's WWE figures. They have like the wide guys like Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik, but then they go a little bit too slender with a guy like Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, where it's like, yeah, that's okay, but he's not that slender. These are like the idealized versions of characters, as opposed to looking more authentic and lifelike to how they really were during their heyday. So that's for sure a thing that matters to me as well. And I don't know why it's just not the standard. For Marvel Comics, I often have Legends and Marvel Select figures share the same shelf. Yeah, that was what held me up on that vision. I was like, oh, he's just a little bit too tall. Like, I can figure out an easy way to make it look good. I could weigh at some height on these figures. Like, if I could just trim this much on Booster Gold so he would be shorter, maybe looking like this to Martian Manhunter, I would absolutely do it with figures and wouldn't worry. And I would buy a lot more Marvel Select figures. That Annihilus figure won't care because he can be as big and tall as they want him to be. And Crimson Dynamo, I think I'll be able to fudge him okay. So he's another example of a figure I'll buy, but Vision, I couldn't because he was too tall. Jibru, Joe redo with the correct number of fingers. You know we're going to get him because every time they're doing these figures now, these build-up figures, and we spend all this time and money collecting. That's why I just wait for clearance. And hey, it's okay then. But yeah, then they re-release him as a deluxe figure, and they fix some things that were missing or wrong or properly incorrectly done so they could re-release it later. Jason Lyles, what's up, bro? We want the Wrecking Crew from the She-Hulk show. How do I ban comment and ban user? Don't want any parts of those guys at all. Christopher Bose, Jeffrey, what do you think of the greatest evil? Finding the Crimson Guard immortal side plot with his sister getting addicted. Working with the Joes holds up well considering it was DSC. You know, I haven't gotten to that one. Is that season 2? Because if so, I need to keep plugging through. I've been dabbling, watching the Masters of the Universe 2000X. I love watching them on DVD because they just run through a whole disc and it's like, man, that was fun. So yeah, I need to get back to the DIC Joe episodes. I finished the disc and was like, whew, I survived. But yeah, I can go. Remind me of that next week. I'll probably watch it by then. 80s Kid says, we need season 4 versions of Ezra, Sabine, Zeb, Hera, Kanan, and Callus. All right, well, you've mentioned it, and it is absolutely time to do our weekly check of this HasLab to see how it's rolling, how it's coming along. And Hasbro decided to sweeten the deal because they're like, look, we're going to show you pictures of the rest of the crew in full form, not just hypothetical rendered deal. And look at this. These guys look great. Here's Ezra. Here's Zeb. Here's Kanan. I don't know what he's looking at though, because he can't see. Shh. And here's Hera. I really think this is an opportunity for them to just be like, whatever. Here's Sabine hanging out with them too, because it's a little bit weird that they're going with this Ahsoka take on the Ghost, because some of these characters shouldn't be here. And that's kind of weird that they're going with this route. I think if they have just said the vintage Ghost, didn't tie it to Ahsoka, that would make a lot more sense. But let's take a look at these other photos. I mean, this is cool. It's got me excited. Kanan training Ezra, got the little mask on too. I mean, how cool is that? And we got them on top of the Ghost. That's really great. And we got Kanan and Hera chilling out, have a little quiet time before the rest of the crew gets back from their random mission where Sabine is spray painting something and Ezra's stolen another helmet, and Zeb and Chopper just doing their thing. Who knows where? I love this shot. It's just fun. Then we got the whole crew again. Got Zeb in the background, Kanan walking in, Ezra about to shoot out some stuff. I mean, seeing these pictures really has me hyped up for this whole set. Here's the gang playing some games. Love this helmet piece that they added on to Kanan. That's really cool. I mean, just the detail on the Ghost is really, really great. And just an awesome set. And smiling Zeb. And then you can see here actually going down to the next level. How great is this set? I asked you. Pretty good. I'm just really curious and hopeful that it gets the rest of these backers. This is the only HasLab where everything matters, where it's funded already. It's got those 8,000 backers needed to get done. It's closing in now on Ezra. Let's see where we're at. 10,534. Still needs 11,000 to get to Ezra in 20 days. Now it's starting to get a little bit of pressure because it's like, okay, we need to get to 17,000 backers to get everything we need for this thing. I don't know. I feel like maybe they were a little bit adventurous with this, where it was like, okay, we're going to get all these thresholds covered. Like, I'm really not a fan of going 3,000 for each tier. So 11,000 to get Ezra. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Comes with the extra helmet. That's cool. And a low cat as well. That's cool. But 14,000 did to Kanan. It's like, ah. Then we got the burn head sculpt. That's really great. And then we've got Zeb at 17,000. That seems like an awful lot. Hopefully that does get done, but man, I don't know. They got 20 days, and I know we've always got that last surge before HasLab funds, but I'm really concerned if this doesn't get everybody funded. People are going to cancel the Ghost. Maybe not to the numbers of getting a thing done from production, but I feel like this is absolutely one of those projects where you've made the tier so essential. I'm really surprised it hasn't gotten funded further, because I figure people who backed it would be like, yo, keep going, keep buying it. So hopefully they'll get all the backers they need for this thing, because geez, it's getting rough out there. I love an updated Kate Bishop in a 2-pack with a comic America Chavez, which to my knowledge has never been made. I think you're right. Also, I'm a year into collecting and younger, so I like more modern stuff. All right, well, I'm glad to hear from a modern fan, because I see so much of this modern stuff and I'm like, this is not for me. So I'm glad to hear there's a younger collector who is into this stuff. When does Dr. Mindbender go for a restock? He's done. No more restocks of him in that particular look. They may change some coloring or something, but you're not going to see that figure available again from Hasbro. An updated Kate Bishop for sure, because yeah, she needs a better articulated figure. The one we got is not great. Ski Raider trapped in the danger room too long. It's like, yeah, I mean, he was just like eating off some bits of danger. Awesome articulation, but yeah, sculpting and size matter too. Coffin loose collectors killing it. Facts. Newer sculpting is much more reflective. Yep. G-Brew, they're not willing to put more scantily clad characters on store shelves. They should sell more premium comic accurate figures for characters like Emma Frost and Goblin Queen. And another character that made me think, hey, we need a better version. This Emma Frost figure. I got this figure and I was able to go back to Target, get her down to $7.49, and I feel like that's the price that this figure is worth. She's too skinny. Like, you see her whole torso. That's not great. It's too slender. Feels like her thighs and hips are about the right size, but I mean, I don't know why they're so afraid. I mean, her costume in general is scantily clad. She's basically wearing a lingerie top. And for some reason, they're like, well, let's make her look like she's not like she's a swimsuit model and not how Emma Frost looks in the comic book. It's just weird. I'm still not feeling the head sculpt. I know it's really close to John Cassidy's version of her, but yeah, I feel like they could have made her look better all around too. Great job of focusing, Jeff, but I'm with you. Online, put these figures, and I think I'd pay a little bit more for a better, more accurate look to her, and it actually looks right, but we'll see. Hasbro Pulse default limit is 2020. Wow, that's a lot. Pulse Premium Early Access initially had the 2-pack and 3 per limit. Limit seems to have been removed. I wonder if that's because it didn't sell through like they thought. Blake, somebody on eBay who does lots of custom heads made a slightly balding, rounded head Molecule Man, but it was sold out. Yeah, I really feel like I'm going to need a better head sculpt. I think I can fudge some of his height because I think his head is giving him way too much height. Maybe if I just lowered his head and neck down a little bit more, that would help some too. But he's still like got this modern hair sculpt, and I just don't love for him. That taller Wolverine was just foreshadowing the Fox X-Men universe. An updated astonishing Kitty Pryde. The skills better with Cyclops and Emma would be nice. Also, both Clint and Kate Hawkeyes from the Fraction run. Yes. Lexi Lions. I picked up Drizzt and Guinevere too. They were on sale. That Panther looks awesome in my Black Panther display. I don't know why I didn't display him with Black Panther yet. That's right. 2 over. We need a new Ben Reilly Scarlet Spidey. What's wrong with the old one? Steve Nar, what's going on? Just got here, so not sure if this has been mentioned, but can we please get a good black and gold Kitty Pryde? She's way too big now. Yeah, I mean, it is for sure definitely a character that was probably too tall anyway when they started, but it was like X-Men figures. Yeah, it's awesome. And there wasn't anybody else really to pair her with where it was like, hey, I think she might be too tall. Now it's like she's way too tall. I feel like this is set where we got Cyclops, we got Emma Frost kind of. You do a box set, 4 characters, maybe 5 if you throw in Danger. We get a better Wolverine. I think you could use him as the lore, the big sell for that set. A new Colossus, smaller, in scale Kitty Pryde, Danger, and then Cat Beast, who also needs a new figure. I think that 5-pack would work and would sell really easily. Wolverine has some anniversary. I think it's his 50th anniversary. Maybe there's a way to do that. Make that a set. Hasbro, that one's there just for free, just for y'all, because I like you. So yeah. Randall. Every Marvel Legend Thor figure has a wide range of scaling. Tall, short, bulky, thin. I know, as opposed to just one consistent Thor scale. Jeeber, McFarlane scales all over the place. It's ridiculous. And another ridiculous scale figure. I should say it's ridiculous, but I just don't love this figure. He needs a redo. It's another one. Is Damian Wayne. I mean, his articulation sucks. He's too tall as well. I mean, he shouldn't look this close to Martian Manhunter. I mean, he's supposed to be the smallest, youngest Robin, and he's like Tim Drake size, and Tim Drake is too tall next to the Nightfall Batman. I was 100% buying that figure, the Tim Drake Robin, but then let me see if I can show you this figure with the Nightfall Batman to show you how badly the scale is of these 2 figures. I was so hyped. I was so excited. I was like, no. Palpatine style. What did you guys do? And it doesn't look like I can actually, yeah. Nope, can't find it. Sorry. I was hoping to be able to pull it up. I should have thought about this before, but yeah, he's dangerously out of scale and just a terrible scale fit. And I have to wait and hold out for him. Christopher, how come we haven't gotten a Melinda May figure yet? Is it because Ming-Na Wen made 1 or 10 too many dirty jokes? Maybe we take one of these Fennec head sculpts, and find a hairpiece that would work, then we can use one of these Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. female molds. Then we can make it work, kind of, sort of. I don't know. But yeah, I'd love to do that because the Calvary was awesome. Excuse me. Randall says classic Batman scale from McFarlane all over the place too. Look at Nightfall Batman is thinner and compared with Hush Batman, taller, and the Three Jokers Batman is tall and bulky. The Three Jokers Batman is so dangerously out of scale. It's like, nope, I can't buy you, even though you look cool. I mean, he's like taller than Aquaman, and I'm sure Superman. I really wish they'd nailed the scale because the figure looked cool. Am I getting the McFarlane action figure Superman, Alan Scott, GL, and Abyss figures? I'm getting for sure Alan Scott. Absolutely. I mean, I love him. He's one of my favorite Green Lanterns. Abyss, I don't know why Abyss is collector edition. Abyss is a newish character, and $30 for a newish character doesn't make a lot of sense. No to the Action Comics Superman. Don't really like the head sculpt. I mean, it looks classic, but I need my classic 70s era Superman. That's the one I'm holding out for, one that matches up better with Nightfall Batman. So yeah, for sure getting Alan Scott. Doubt the rest. Abyss, I'll wait on clearance. What about putting DCU Classics booster with McFarlane's Martian Manhunter? Well, I mean, the Martian Manhunter for DC Classics was scaled perfectly. I mean, he was taller than Superman. I mean, he was really good, and I love that figure. Either really good. And I'm just trying to think now that I don't have that figure, a picture of him. Let's see if Google will be cooperative and help me out here. Let's see. Maybe I took a picture with my DC Classics one, but now nope, I did not. He would definitely work though, for sure. Darkening. Miss Wynn should make as many dirty jokes as he wants. She's a light in this dark world. She's a great follow on Instagram too. Her and what's her case? Oh man, the armor. Of course, I'm blanking on her name now, but great follow on Instagram. Agreed. Ming Not Win is a delight. Yes. Blake, Jason Lyles. Oh man, you're only allowed on Movie Files. He's always walking to come through. I don't know why, he doesn't feel like he knows as much about action figures. Documentary, I would love a select did the Wrecking Crew, but they still be too big. And that's my big problem with the Marvel Legends versions. They probably have better articulation at this point. If scale bothers you, don't collect Bandai's Dragon Ball Z line. Oh, that's one that's terrible too. G Brew, speaking of She-Hulk, we could sure use updates of the more classic costumes. Yeah, like she needs. Yeah, I was surprised that the show came and went without us getting a better comic version of her. That was really odd because normally they sync that up a little bit better, but she really needs a better figure, and I'm surprised they didn't do that then. Darkening. I would enjoy a Rom Space Knight figure, not the itty bitty strange one from a few years ago. Yeah, I think we're gonna get one. He's back on with Marvel, so I'm thinking we're seeing Chris Star. So I gotta assume Rom is on the list or is in the works as we talk. Legends is my least favorite Hasbro line. Lightning Collection is going on hiatus, and the Black Series is losing my interest. My favorite is Jada Classified, for sure. Watch them blow up the ghost when it gets funded. Or give up the ghost, as some would say. But, the ship's going to get blown up on Ahsoka. Blow up the ship after funding a HasLab? Why, that would be unprecedented in Star Wars Rebels. Tons of HasLab projects have been things that went kablooey. Think about it for a sec. Well, we got Ultron, not Ultron, Unicron. Yep, so check there. Let's see. Jabba's sail barge. Check. I guess the Sentinel always gets blown up. Yeah, okay. Galactus? Maybe not him. DC Multiverse, Tim Drake Robin, and Damian Wayne. Yeah, they're bad. Can you name all the Joes from the 84 cartoon? Yes. I'm trying to think. I feel like they were 85, not 84, because they were working in Flint and his crew. So I think it was 85, maybe even 86. But yes, because I've watched it way too many times. Maybe I shouldn't say too many times. I've watched it a bunch of times. I got an email today saying Mindbender got pushed back to September to come in. Hopefully, everyone. I mean, they said everyone who ordered them would get them, so I think you could be okay with the delay. Maybe they're just trying to surprise us with some more reveals at Pulsar. PNC Games and Things, what's up? Yo, sorry, late. Gonna listen. Hey, man, welcome aboard. Ben Kenobi needs a do over from Rebels Season 3. Maybe. Darkanaut, when the Razor Crest blew up right after it got funded, I couldn't help but think, a Mandalorian version of, dude, where's my car? Yeah. Sean Russell artwork. What's going on? The one figure that McFarlane keeps dancing around is Starfire. Why don't we have a Val Zod, the Black Superman Earth 2, and no Big S? Yeah, Starfire seems like McFarlane's kind of figure that he would care about doing right, like making her taller, and hopefully she'd be a gold label figure because nothing beats her original costume. I mean, George Perez was drawing amazing costumes, just in general, but that's one of his better ones. Her and Cyborg, I mean, those are really great costumes, and we should get figures. Todd, what's up, more Teen Titans, new Teen Titans? And Val Zod has a great costume too. I wonder if he's a character that they're like, well, let's see what's going on with the Ta-Nehisi Coates, Michael B. Jordan Superman movie. So maybe that's what the delay is there. G-Brew, it really bugs me that they never do cloth good capes on Emma Frost figures when her costumes would hinder articulation. I don't know what you're talking about. You can have plenty of articulation. Look, see how far her arm moves up here? It's like all the way up to her single jointed elbow. So yeah, like feel the power, the range. It's amazing. I will say this cape will go up a little bit and do some cool things, but yeah, great articulation. So happy I paid $7 for it. Oh, throwing Ord in that astonishing 5-pack. Yeah, Ord had a cool design. And I don't know, I haven't read a lot of modern X-Men. Is he returned? Is he somebody that should be? Steve Nauer. I refuse to do the McFarlane figs due to scale. I own Swamp Thing, which is too big but can work. And I have Damien, which is just not scale-wise. That was it. I was done after that. Damien really, really put me close to the end of like, I'm done with this because not only is his scale bad, but I mean, Damien should have like really great articulation, and his figure is just not great at the articulation thing. I mean, wow, he fell off, but fortunately, he's got a little peg thing in here, so it's like a Mayflex figure. It goes back in, no problem. But I mean, what is going on with this articulation? He doesn't have a torso joint. It's just bad, and he's definitely a figure that needs to get redone with articulation because he's way too important to have such a crappy figure. Is this a Mayflex, a different figure company? They're going to do a Rogue figure? Yeah, they haven't done Rogue yet, but I'm sure they are. And I'm sure when they do it, it'll really look good. And people will be like, oh, this is the Rogue figure I've been waiting on. It'll definitely help because she'll have multiple head sculpts. I'm getting the gold label Superman. I just need a classic villain for Superman to fight. That's a really oddly good point. Why are there no classic Superman bad guys? G. Bruce says I was really hoping for a Comics America Chavez figure when Hasbro put out that movie version. I was disappointed when that didn't happen. Yeah, it's weird. The gap is getting wider now between a figure that shows up in a movie and then the comic book version. I mean, how long did it take to get classic version of Ant-Man? What was discussed about the McFarlane Robin on the YouTube cover video? We just did it, just for you. Darkening. Only Mayflex I got is Michael Jordan. I'm pretty sure he scales off too, even compared to other Mayflex. Well, I mean, unless you got a Bugs Bunny or Taz or Daffy, not Donald. Yeah, Daffy Duck. The scale's okay. It didn't matter because they, much like Hasbro starting lineup figures, didn't do more waves. But I guess I wonder how he matches up with the LeBron figure. Critical Enjoyer. Speaking of scale, what's the point of releasing a 9-inch anti-monitor? This is a really great point because I was trying to think if at some point during Crisis, because I'm trying to remember this correctly. When I saw that figure, I was like, why is he not giant size? This isn't right. What's happening here? And I'm trying to think because I know for sure his original look he was just a little bit taller, like that 9-inch scale figure. And I'm like, is he wrong? Is he like totally out of scale? Like this version here, this one is fine for that scale. Like he works perfectly, and he's not too much taller. And I love this look for Anti-Monitor. This is the look that Supergirl proceeded to beat the mess down out of him during that fight. That was great. One of my favorite comic book battles ever. But yeah, I'm trying to find a shot of Anti-Monitor at that smaller size because I feel like the dude was only ever skyscraper size. And I don't know if I would rather them have just done Anti-Monitor in that original look, or if they should have done this version where really make him superior height and size, because he's really small compared to this version who's fighting Spectre and all that good stuff in Crisis. So I don't know. It's a question. I'm probably still gonna buy it, but I'm not nearly as hyped as I was when I first saw it. Was Low Light a character in the cartoon? So I mean, the cartoon was broken down from the 85, 85 and 86 lineups. So any character that appeared in the first 3 waves of G.I. Joe and the first 5 waves of G.I. Joe were in the cartoon. I'd break them down, but it's a lot of Joes, a lot of Cobras. Stalker, Lowlight were in there too. So those guys were all in there. Lowlights were the last Sunbow cartoon editions to make it. I'm sorry. So like 4 of the 87 line, Falcon Jinx, Law and Order, and Tunnel Rat made the cut. So many other Joes in that wave did not, but those are the ones that made it in the Sunbow universe. Rhodey was a Skrull since Civil War, you say? Wash! Absolutely. Don't care. They're wrong. I'm just going to do like I do with comic books. That doesn't count. I don't care what story you're telling. I'm doing the multiverse version where yours doesn't count. Lowlight didn't show up until after Arise, Supreme Source Arise. And then he showed up. He was there, very often in season 2 of the cartoon. So the cartoon was like they focused on first season, focused on Bazooka, Alpine, Quick Kick, Flint, Shipwreck, Lady J, Roadblock, Gung Ho, but they weren't from that wave, those series of characters. And then so Airtight, Dusty, Footloose, it's a barbecue already. So those guys were the main focus of season 1. Season 2, Beachhead, Dial Tone, Mainframe, Sci-Fi, Low Light, Sergeant Slaughter, of course, Roadblock, General Hawk. Those are the characters they focused on, and Zartan is Dreadnoks. So those are the characters they focused on. Dark Knight 297. What's up? What's good, Jeff? I'm late to the party when I'm here. Did I miss much? Just an hour 53 minutes. It's all good. Do I think McFarlane would tackle characters from Justice League Unlimited cartoon? I'd like him to, but it seems like he's gotten really far away from doing cartoon looks from those shows. I think he's done a little bit more Batman animated series, but it doesn't seem like he's interested in those cartoons. And I think for those, he really needs to do more than 1 or 2 characters in a year. He needs to do box sets. That would get people excited, like, oh, you're going to commit and focus to it? Otherwise, I don't see him doing that, and I don't see a lot of demand or a lot of people clamoring for him because he's bad about finishing teams too, and this would not be a good start if he's never going to finish. Darkman. It just occurred to me that it's in the company's best interest to keep the definitive versions of characters to a minimum. That way they can keep selling us the same guy with little tweaks. Yeah, I'm with you, but Marvel has a gazillion characters. Same with DC. Even if you do definitive version of Superman in this particular look, there are other Superman costumes. You could do a darker blue and red, and that would be a definitive version for a JL8 era Superman. You could do Superman in his blue and red electric suits. There's so many different versions where you don't have to go, oh no, we've done the definitive Superman. Now we have to take Superman off the list of characters we do again. That's just not true. And I feel like that's something as collectors we try to give as an excuse for them. There are way too many characters. They could keep cranking them out. They could do That definitive Superman again with a character we've never seen in a 2-pack. Yeah, we complain, but we buy it to get that other character. That's a way they can still do it too. So, and then of course, there are new collectors that come to the line every year that don't want to go and spend $100 to get that definitive version of a character that they missed out on just because they weren't in there 5 years ago. So it's an excuse that I think we try to give the companies, but they could just do definitive versions of characters. I'm not going away from Marvel Legends if they do X Factor in their version 2 outfits. I'm still going to be around to get Alpha Flight, New Warriors properly done, X Force version 2, X Factor version 2. You know, it's like there are more characters and not leave until all the ones I want are done. It's never going to happen. So they've got me until they lose the license. Chibru, Order showed up once, I think, after astonishing. Dope design, though. Absolutely wouldn't mind adding him to a villain shelf. I really, really wanted Cassandra Nova a lot more, honestly. I would definitely go for her, too. Oh, yeah. What's up on Carter Reviews? Absolutely. He was a character in the cartoon. He showed up quite often, actually, in lots of episodes. Definitely recommend checking out YouTube. They put a lot of those characters in there, and you can find him really easily. He was in the original miniseries. But yeah, he was all over. Like he was in tons of episodes. You wouldn't not see him. Here's Rock and Roll right here, front and center. With Stalker, Tripwire, Wild Bill, Snake Eyes, Duke, and Blonde Cover Girl. I wish Mattel would have released that 3-foot Anti-Monitor from San Diego Comic-Con. That would have been sick for the superpowers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I wouldn't have paid for that figure. I mean, that's Anti-Monitor, and I've been like all over it. And I think it was really crappy to just put it out to a few people. I think they made 10, but they could have put that out as a Matty Collector Com figure. It would have sold out. There'd have been demand for more of them. They would have gone, okay, here's another run. They would have sold out on them. And if they treat them like the Legion of Superheroes, they'd been like, oh, shoot, sorry, no more versions. But yeah, I'm not salty at all. No, I'm holding on to that forever because I just feel like they should have done that version and released that version of that character over and over for us because for sure I would have bought it. Also, before I forget, this little news, check your Target for clearance. Tiger Force Dusty. He's now 50% off. You can get it for $12.49 if your Targets have Tiger Force Dusty. So if you've been waiting all these 1 or 2 weeks, you can get it for half off, $12.49. So yeah, it's getting faster and faster with these clearances. Sean Russell artwork. Look where Flash died. I think he might have been in this suit, Anti-Monitor. Let me see. I think you're right though. Crisis Infinite Earths number 8. Don't ask me why that comes to mind so fast and so quickly. I thought he was recovering half that issue, but let's see. I know he was in the old. Let me see. Now you got me all thinking about this. Let's see. Open image at new time. Okay. So let's see here. Yes, here we go. You are correct, Sean. So this will work. This is canon, and this figure is fine. This is when the cores start fighting him, hitting him with the lightning, and Flash is going back and forth, doing his thing. Did you miss this? Continued on third page following. I just love when DC would do that. So it's canon. It works. So no complaints then. I thought there might have been the case, but you're correct. Thank you so much for the help. McFarlane has done mega figs bigger than 9 inches. Anti-Monitor should have no other figure in the main line bigger than him. Man, jeez. Let me see. Would I buy $100 figure off McFarlane Toy Shop Anti-Monitor? I feel like I would have, and I wonder how many of you all would have too. Darknet. I regret not picking up Toynami's Thundar the Barbarian figures all those years ago. The Robotech stuff sucked, but most of the other offerings were okay. Todd does like Batman. Maybe we get a Anti-Monitor version of Batman that'll come out probably. The Jose Jr., a McFarlane animated Teen Titans box set. It's a way to do it and get it out there, so that would work. Dark Knight 297. McFarlane line is overrated. It's just that some hardcore DC Comics fans need DC comic figs. Dang, I miss DCUC line. I do too. I miss when Mattel was like, hey, I think we could figure out how to make these figures better. And they were releasing what were some really improved figures where it was like, okay, I think you guys have figured it out. And let's see here if I could get that shot of this line. It was like, oh, you're getting so much better. But I feel like so often they were on the cusp of doing better figures. And let's see here. This is a really, let me see, because I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try to link to something on the push. Okay, it is still here. So let's see. This is where they were going with this line, and it was so close to actually getting it right. Where this is the Black Canary for the Multiverse line, and she looks good. I mean, it's still a little bit frail, but the head sculpt, she's got an alternate yelling head sculpt. Siren, don't be afraid. You can scream to use your powers. And she's got the jacket. This is a DC Rebirth version. I love Rebirth, and I just was upset that we didn't get this. This is Gotham by Gaslight Batman. They were putting out the Vixen that did make it out. Nope, the sculpt. She's a woman, and really good job with her. Here's the Hawk Girl that we did not get, but man, she looked good. Katana came out. She was a really good figure. Liked her. But yeah, man, it's just so upset that we didn't get that done all the way because they were getting better with their figures. And I really wish they had kept going, especially because I love Rebirth so much from DC. G-Brew Todd never gave us a rat catcher too from the Suicide Squad. She's one of the most important characters in that flick, and he just ignored her. And she was one of my favorite characters too, and they did such a great job on her. Yikes, Mason with the win. I got a Craven in my Walmart for $7.97 on Tuesday. That's really good. Randall sitting here playing with the DC Universe Collect Superpowers lineup. That was my second favorite all-time line after Superpowers. It was a really good line. I just a few mistakes I really wish they had fixed, but yeah, it was a really good line, and it's such a comprehensive DC. I mean, when I say comprehensive, I doubt we're ever going to see another company knock out as many DC figures as they did. I might be surprised, come year 5 of the McFarlane license, how many characters he actually does. And I guess I should probably take out Batman to see really the depth of how far he gets with the line. I paid more for an aftermarket Malekith. Oh, man. Well, Alex is a pretty decent figure. I like him. So hopefully you didn't feel too burnt. Darkening. Jada surprised me considering they mostly do die-cast cars. Their Street Fighter line is big on my radar. Me too. Afton Shot, I would love to see a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom from Jada Toys. Sorry, but I like Jada Toys' work. They're amazing. I don't think anyone's hating on Jada Toys. I think they're really excited about what they're doing so far. So I definitely don't think you're in the minority with them. Steve, each brand should have a few archive waves like the Black Series each year. Someone should always be able to buy a classic look Spider or Cap or any main character. That is a really interesting point. I guess because they keep cranking them out, they don't feel the need to do an archive series. But I'm with you. Like, people wanted to get a 20th anniversary Cap. He should without having to pay $55 like his current price is on Amazon. Anybody get that Hot Toys Artisan Joker today? He's up, for pre-order. I did not. That Hot Toys Joker looks great though. Like really, really, really good. Let's see. Sideshow actually has a $20 sale going on right now. Here we go. Why so serious Artisan Joker figure? How much do they want for him? $365. And I know that's kind of like, that's really expensive. This figure has a ton of stuff, including the cloth jacket, the rotating eyeballs, which I always love, the guns, cards, different hand sculpts, base. Then the removable jackets didn't get that look too. It's pretty good. And yeah, he's got the corn. I mean, it's really strong figure. Is it $365 though? I don't know. This is the Artisan edition, which is $515. Yikes. That's a lot. This one comes with the grenades in there. The Tommy gun, is it really just that much for the grenades? Yeah, it's not going to get it done for me. So, no, I'm not pre-ordering, but I'm curious who does. Sean, Crisis 8. I found it with Flash when he died. Such a great issue. Like those two back-to-back issues with Crisis 7 and 8 is like such a gut punch. And then they have the whole villain war coming through. A lot of death and Crisis. Such a great story. Evergreen characters, right? Yeah, man, it was awesome. And here we go. Ryan, if the Legends HasLab is Giant Man this year, how big will they go with him? What would justify making Giant Man a HasLab? I don't need him to be anywhere near the same height as Galactus or the Sentinel. So I really hope they don't try to do him more than $200. And those tiers would need to be really special to warrant it. I'm thinking if they did like a 16-inch Giant Man, they made tiers of 12-inch Goliath, 12-inch Black Goliath, 12-inch Hank Pym Goliath, or Clint Barton Goliath. Maybe that could make him 300, maybe, but they have to be really careful with what they charge for him, and he doesn't need to be the same height as Galactus and the Sentinel under any scale. Yeah, Sean, you're right. Anti-Monitors and scales, we win. Maybe they do some Quad Warriors, because those would be kind of cool to army build and have their lightning. They can fight Green Lantern and hang out with Sinestro and team up and battle against. Oh, that's right, because Flash used Psycho Pirate and it made him to make all the Quarians fight Anti-Monitor. Awesome story. Gee, bro, I would have loved that Black Canary. Me too. I have several of the Mattel DC Rebirth figures. I do as well. I really like that Nightwing, Katana, not Simon Bass, Jessica Cruz. We're so close to getting Simon Bass. Superman's pretty decent. But yeah, I really loved him. And then the Clayface was really good for that line too. They did really good Build-A-Figures. I really wish they'd done more. I slept on that Alfred figure set. I wanted for the 89 version of Alfred. Michael Go. He deserves a dedicated release. Yeah, that's something I'm surprised we haven't seen from McFarlane yet. Dang, what we could have gotten from Mattel and DC Icons. We're making amazing figures. Dark Knight, the Icons line is just so like, I look at that like, oh, I wish I had like 3 shelves of DC Icon figures because they were really fun and really, really well done figures. 80s kid, yes. Superman 66 did appear in the comic book series. Randall, Mattel was doing so much better when they brought the Horseman back after mixed bag with the multiverse figures, but we missed Black Canary, Hawkgirl, Mammoth. Mammoth was an impressive looking Build-A-Figure. Simon Bass and the Toy Biz inspired GL Riddler. Just so close. I mean, that I feel like if they had gotten maybe like a couple more waves of them out, people would be like, oh, okay. Because I feel like they really understood maybe we could do a little bit more articulation. They weren't quite at Marvel Legends articulation. They were getting there, and they were really fun figures. Can anyone explain why we still haven't seen a full reveal of the fully assembled McFarlane Flashpoint Cyborg bath? Weird. That is true. I guess they're still waiting to show us who this last Flashpoint figure is. Wonder who we'll get. Thank you, Jared. Real hair on the Artisan figure. So that means that Anakin figure is going to be $515 too. My poor wallet. Dark Knight. If McFarlane did a Teen Titans box set, they would all be out of scale and taller than Batman and Supes. I don't know, man. If you look at the Mattel DC Classics Teen Titans, they're all out of scale with each other too. Dang, that is not a small difference in price. Yeah, Dark Knight, it is serious. Mason, what do you think is going to be in the Avengers wave for 2024 Viz and Justice? Because I asked Dan, he said they're not standalone or exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con. Mason, I wish I could have. I wish you told me because I would have been like, here's 40 questions. If you can get 10 of them answered, you're my guy. I hope a new Warbird and a Perez, Firestar, and Wonder Man, maybe even a Black Panther. I'd love to see a Perez Black Panther because he'd do a cutout just enough so you can see there's a black guy in there. But if we're going to get another Perez figure, I'd love Triathlon because we don't have him in figure form ever. So that'd be really cool to see. Darken and the retro Spidey body would be perfect for a classic costume Iron Fist. We're getting classic Power Man, so classic Iron Fist must be in the works at some point. Kelly, Giant Man really needs to outshine last year's HasLab for Marvel Legends. Absolutely no way he cannot, right? Doc Avenger, Crisis was a great story. They messed up on the relaunch by not starting all the characters over instead of trying to hang on to something when they should have just started over. Good thing DC never repeated that mistake. Wait, they did. But yeah, it was so funny because it was like, we're gonna clear everything up and make it far easier for people to jump on. But then it was like, all right, we're starting Superman, we're starting Wonder Woman, but all this stuff happened before with Flash and Green Lantern and Batman, and then they did even worse with New 52. It was like, yeah, Batman's had all these Robins already. What? It's a mess. But yeah, I'm with you. They're not really committed to doing a full scale relaunch. Fascinating. I might have to read Batman 66. No, it was fun. I don't think it was goofy. Darkening. Both Marvel and DC have done hard resets way too much in recent years. It's kept both the longtime readers and new readers away. Darkening, you're wrong. There are millions of new comic book readers just waiting for a story to take them because it's so much easier with a new #1 than reading issue 800 or something, which to me is way more impressive. I mean, the fact that a book is going on for 700 issues, it's way more important. It's so weird because it's like they start and stop these comics all the time now. Like, I think Avengers on volume 16, and the last one had like 12 issues. It's so dumb. I'm reading, where am I reading now? On my backlog of Avengers, I'm reading issue 298, and I'm like, that's impressive. The book has gone on for so long, and they just keep restarting. And it's harder to read now. Documentary, yeah, they could have just hung on for a couple more waves. They would have made it for sure. Especially Icons. They were showing some really promising characters, and I think we're really going to get more people involved and invested in it. Those last few waves of Multiverse from Mattel were pinless. That Gotham by Gaslight Batman is sweet, as is the KGB Beast. Katana looks good as the Jinx stand-in. I can see that working. Cheaper, I'd love to see more 2009 era X-Men comic figures like Morrison X-Men, Ecstatic, Exiles for sure. Mason, yes, Triathlon. I can't believe I forgot him. I've been reading that 99 stuff, or the 99 run. Such a great run. Oh, you saw him too. I went to GameStop and I saw those little cards to pre-order these figures. Also saw the Batman and Spawn pack. Yeah, it's really weird seeing the cards to pre-order figures. DC screwed up Jason Todd, Legion, Hawkman, Donna Troy. All of it could have stopped if they thought it through more. To me, the old DC died with Superboy and Legion 37. Randall, oh, I finally read that. I was like, man, you know, it's weird when you read comics for a long time. It's like, well, I guess I'm done here. I would say the DC Rebirth has been really good, or was really good. And if you're a longtime DC fan, it's really fun to read those because I feel like they were introducing stuff, not just holding on to the past, but not ignoring it and not treating it like crap either. So I highly recommend all that good stuff. Yeah, it's true about new #1 books, but if they restart again, that's kind of a bummer. Darknet, I think that's okay. I mean, I feel like, you know, in the era of the internet where people can go, what happened in issue 500 of name a title? They can do that really easily. I mean, it's just, I don't know. DC and Marvel. Critical enjoyer. DC Rebirth was the last time I was excited about comics. I'm with you like 90% of that because there's some really good stuff coming from Image. There are still some holdover good books from DC, like just until recently. Flash from Jeremy Adams was amazing. Batman and Superman, World's Finest Teen Titans. Tom Taylor, basically anything he does. DC's Adventures of Superman, Jonathan Kent, really good. Titans, Nightwing, good books. But the rest, I'm like, but the Rebirth stuff, I was reading and loving everything they were doing. Then Bendis ruined everything by Agent of John Kent. Like, it could not like that statement more. They let Bendis come in and destroy everything that was great about Superman. Oh yeah, Superman, tell everybody that you're a hack journalist and you've only been doing this so well because you're actually Superman. And everyone loved that. Terrible decision. I mean, they just let him destroy titles. Young Justice, Legion, terrible. Superman, everything he touched was like terrible. So yeah, I can always talk about how bad the Bendis DC run was. I was more or less done after New 52. Came back for Ghostmaker and Punchline thereabouts and dropped out again. Mason, what would you want in a new villains wave? Let's see here. Graviton, Scalp Hunter, Arclight, so I can continue on my Marauders. Who else would I want to see? Yeah, villain teams. Mandarin, whatever way I can get them that works. Trapster and Wizard. That was really incredibly fast and easy. Build a figure. Who would I want? A Hercules, Thor size absorbing man. Call it a day. That was way too easy. I will say I really missed out my local comic shops. COVID killed them. Too much lost revenue. Darkening. Yeah, that was definitely true for so many in my area as well. Kelly, don't forget to smash the like button. Or Hero Jeff. Oh, thank you. That's nice of you. Am I going to read Gotham War? Another war series where Batman will fight for his city, but his family. No. No. I'm so good on reading these fake me out events that aren't events that are pitting hero against hero all the time because they have nothing else to do. So over it. And yeah, I'm not reading Night Terrors, not interested in this storyline. It's goofy. I don't know why they keep going. You know what'll get readers here? War and heroes fighting each other. And I'm really over it. Really, really over it. Yeah. And Batman versus Catwoman. The whole thing's been done since the wedding. Like, who cares about them? They had all this great momentum with Batman and Catwoman. Then they decided Batman's too immature. He's too committed to fighting crime to get married. And it makes sense. And I've been done basically since then. Pretty sure they're about to relaunch X-Men again. The current run is maybe 30. It's irritating. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read X-Men in so long. Bendis effed up everything great about Superman. And that run of Superman was incredible. He just like threw it out. Yeah, if it didn't work for Spider-Man, what made them think it would work for Superman? True. Dark. This is why I appreciate online forums and live stream. That's the new way to talk shop with other fans. Absolutely. I miss those talks in the comic shop and just cutting it up for like 30 minutes. Where did the time go? Oh no, it's time to go. And the shop is closing anyway. Get out of here. Abomination, Scourge, Crimson Dynamo, and Wonder Man are needed. We have Abomination, definitely need Scourge and Crimson Dynamo, and we have Wonder Man too. Wade's current books have been great. Nightwing is a great book. The new Green Lantern is good too. Jeremy Adams is right. I forgot about that. But, Night Terrors had to interrupt that. But yeah, for sure. All those are good. We need another Bring on the Bad Guy wave. I think that's just something that you need to incorporate every year or two. I mean, just 2 waves of bad guys. You can't go wrong with that. Critical Enjoyer. The Batcat Fake Out Wedding killed my interest in Batman. Then Bane killed Alfred FDC. Yeah, I mean, it was a 1-2 that was just terrible, and it didn't make any sense. It was just a really, really, really awful way to go. Before I go, I need to talk about these figures that we mentioned earlier, but I did not show. So let's get to it. Sinestro, DC Multiverse version. This is another premium edition character. Don't know why. Don't really care, but Sinestro looks good. Love that head sculpt. He looks perturbed, ready to get payback on Jordan. Translucent Lantern, that's okay. I don't mind that too much. Got the ring, and it's good to get Sinestro finally into the line. Finally, somebody for the Lanterns to fight on their level. He's got a little pulse, maybe some handcuffs there. Maybe, I don't know. Got the base, which is always needed. I would trade this display for the card 9 times out of 9 to get a flight stand because that was really good when they included that. And it's so much more useful than this base. So, yeah, definitely like to see that coming through with them. Then we got the Dark Knight's Metal Batman. And don't understand why we have this particular look because in Dark Knight's Metal, he's not, he doesn't quite look like that, but it's really great looking detail. Check out all this work on the helmet. That's great. And he looks really good. So we'll see about that one, but really strong additions to the DC Multiverse line. So cool and amazing. I agree. Oh, it's totally going to be out of scale. I hope not. Critical Enjoyer. I have such a massive manner shaped hole in my Iron Man shelf. Yeah, I'm still trying to make do with that old school one from Toy Biz, and it's a bad figure just because it's really terrible articulation at this point, and he just needs some serious work. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did try to incorporate him in my last Iron Man review. And it's like, ugh, he just doesn't work anymore because he can barely stand, and he's got all kinds of problems. But it's the best Mandarin I've got right now, and I just have to continue to make do with a very lousy version of Mandarin. And I really wish I could replace this guy. He's too small. It's just, I think maybe if I cut very diligently, I could cut this figure and put him onto a Marvel Legend Hasbro body. And this time, I kind of feel like that's my best course of action at this point. So let's see. You're not in the minority. I love Azrael's original costume, 3-finger gloves. I mean, it was cool. And I think we're supposed to get that. And hopefully, we'll see it soon. That Batman also looks cool and amazing. Anton Child, I agree with you. G-Brew, Bendis has this really annoying habit of stock dialogue. There's a scene in his X-Men run between Magic and Kitty. You could have swapped them out with any two other female Marvel characters. I really noticed that when he did Avengers, and I felt like he was writing every character like Spider-Man. And I was like, why is everybody trying to do clips? And is my comic broken because the laugh track is not coming with this dialogue? So I'm with you on that. He really got bad with that. Wookie Sasquatch. I want a decent Howard the Duck figure, either based on the movie or the 80s comic. Yeah, I'm still using my Toy Biz one. So yeah, I could definitely use a better one. Randall, I want a sleek Hal Jordan from Rebirth. Al Scott's alternate new look. He's an OG Huntress and an Earth 2 Robin. Give up Neil Adams, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, and Black Canary. Yes, buy a 3-pack of them. I've been going to New York Comic Con every year since 08, and it's the first year I'm not excited about it. I don't know why. I mean, there's not going to be any TV people interfering and messing up everything, so at least you got that. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me here. Let me see here what Dr. Vendor just said. The 3 Marvel Legend figures I'm missing are Brood Queen and Broodlings, Nemesis, and Mandarin. We need a new Mandarin. I don't know how we get him, which version we get him, but yeah. An 80s kid, I really don't like when writers rewrite stuff in comic books and novels or movies or TV shows that make no sense. Yeah, absolutely. But you all make sense, and I'm loving and appreciating so much the fact that you guys are here hanging out with me. Eddie Rodriguez, thank you so much. Kelly, have a great weekend. You too. Thank you so much, y'all, for hanging out with me tonight. It's super long. I didn't know I was going to go on this long, but y'all make this show. So I'll be back on later, maybe this weekend, doing a longer form episode about the problems with Emma and all the other female figures that Marvel likes to do. All right. Well, thank you all, as always, for watching. This episode allows Figure Files has been filed.